I hate when it does that when the countdown screws up because I'm like, are we live? Are we not live? Anyway, we are officially live. So, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are here to discuss Ready to Love, and we are on episode number 8. And tonight I have my amazing panelists, and I am the only female tonight. Um, and I have an amazing male panel tonight. Hopefully, I have another female joining me. So I don't know, because y'all actually probably gonna go, considering what I saw with this episode, y'all are probably gonna be, I don't know. It's kind of good that y'all are here because it's the men with the X's. So I think I'm just gonna let y'all talk mostly tonight and give your views on how you feel. But anyway, let's get right into it. I am your host, Miss Sabrina Soul. Thank you guys. Welcome back to my channel. If you have not liked this video yet, do take a moment to hit that thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, make sure you have subscribed to my channel and join my soulmate family here. And also to go to the comment section. That's where all actually it's real live over there all the time. So definitely go to the comment section, put your thoughts, include them. You guys know I put your comments up on the screen. Sometimes we do discuss the comments that you put. And also to, yeah, let's just get started. You guys know in the beginning, I like to go around the room so everyone can introduce themselves. I like to do it in the beginning and I like to do it in the very end, just in case you missed it in the beginning, you get to see it in the end. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and start to my right, and we're gonna go ahead and get with Tyrone, then it's J-Dub, and then P.O. And let them all know too where you guys are from.
What's up, everybody? Tyrone Wilson. I was on Ready to Love DC with Sabrina. It's always a pleasure to be here on the panel, talk about the show, chop it up with P.O. and J-Dub. And I'm sure it's going to be fun tonight. I cannot wait. So let's just get it,
Oh, it's on me.
Yes.
What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J-Dub, the #1 commenter. And you can find me on It's J-Dub. That's my YouTube channel. I do detailed reviews of reality shows from a male's perspective. And I'm happy to be here, but disappointed that I cannot give it to the ladies on this episode because this is the one. This needs to be spoken upon with, we got to get this straight. So it's on you, P.O.
You already know who it is. It's POJ, the number 100 sightings on IG. It's yeah, so I'm here in the building doing what I do. As the sign says, get at me.
I was getting ready to say you had a new signature there.
A new little joint, yeah.
Copyright infringement.
There you go.
It's gonna be trademark in a week. Also, shout out to you guys in the chat. I see you, my soulmates, my faithfuls. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here with us on Wednesday. If you guys are subscribed to my YouTube channel, I did put, and I have to do better, I really do, but I did put it on my wall for my subscribers to let you guys know that I was not going to be going live yesterday because of some house renovation stuff that went over and that we were going to come tonight. So I see you here in the chat. I see 58 of you watching as of right now. And I just want to say thank you so much for always supporting us over here on my channel with the panel reviews and, just my channel in general. So before we begin, do you guys have anything you would like to say? Any comments? Doesn't have to necessarily be about this episode, but about just Ready to Love Miami, just the season that we're watching right now.
Yeah. So I think this episode really highlights a lot of kind of what's wrong with the show.
You said what's wrong with the show?
And like the approach to the show. Like there's this weird dynamic to where, some people look at it as a competition, and then you have people with integrity that just wants to have like just a really good journey, and sometimes, just like Blue said today, sometimes the nice guys don't win because you really don't know it's hard to understand what you're really there for, you know. And those that are there for the good reasons end up not making it for all the wrong reasons. So we'll get into it a little bit more, but that's just what I wanted to point out.
So let me say this, because of course I'm always on some abstract, totally different wavelength. But here's what I want to say about Ready to Love, period. Right. So, I mean, I watched the 100th episode, right? And then there was this gloating, this, look what I brought to TV. This is, 100 episodes of doing this. But when I look at the bigger picture, right, what we're seeing is a bunch of foolery, buffoonery that's going on, and they're highlighting the wrong aspects of what Black love and relationships and successful relationships look like. I understand you have a show to sell, but you still have to make this stuff make sense and less the drama. And so, since I would say since Houston, we're missing the mark in terms of what uh, the the original show was supposed to be about. And I don't know, it was kind of like, when you take what they would call high quality dating show and then you show us what we're seeing, and I'm wondering where is the high quality. So this looks like TV to me.
J-Dub.
I guess without me giving too much away, I want to give a disclaimer because I will be a revolutionary for the men's right. But this episode was so triggering. Um, it's time to really speak up, but I don't want to give too much away. But I'm just letting you know I'm coming hard tonight on these situations. So here I come.
Wowzers. I think I'm kind of scared tonight because I feel like, and I have a question too, but I feel like with this episode, we really got a chance to see a lot of their personalities, of their real personalities. And it was very telling, and it definitely made me slightly frightened of how they may be like in the real world. Because if they're, I don't know. It just was. It was definitely interesting, let's just say the least. I know my mouth was open a few times. I think a fly flew in once from it being open so much. But either way, we're going to discuss it. But before we move forward, because we did not do a panel review, a recap, I really didn't think that we should. And then I was like, well, maybe we can talk about it. But I didn't think it was really anything to really discuss. But just go around the room. How did you guys feel about the 100th episode?
Bravo. We made it through 100 episodes. You got to see a little bit of everything. I'm happy I was fortunate to be a part of it. Much success to everyone that had success. Shout out to everyone. We had some couples that found love. They look really, really good. I'm so happy for them. And the ones that didn't, I hope they were able to learn from their journey. You got 100 episodes worth of teachable moments. So, that's all.
J-Dub.
Well, you're right, Sabrina. It wasn't worth mentioning. I didn't see anything worthwhile. They could have kept it. But congratulations to Ready to Love, making to 100 episodes. What I got out of it, it showed how far it has gotten away from its original formula, which the people love. And I don't know why you would step away from something that, the people enjoy. It was a smash hit, and it's no disrespect to y'all seasons. But as I said, the formula that brought us all in, I mean, they should have built off of that instead of totally changing it.
P.O.
Yeah, I enjoyed the 100th episode. It was cool. Like I said, it was good to see all my peeps, in one place. It feels like being a part of a good fraternity, that reaches, across a couple of miles. But just to double off of what J Dub said, I think that, you know, having 100 episodes is cool, but you should be proud of what you were and build and capitalize on what that is, and not sort of take that legacy that got you to 100 episodes and keep driving it into the ground.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was cool because I was on it. Other than that, you know, it was all right. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. No, I thought that it was cool. I thought that the fact that I was able to share an episode with Oprah Winfrey was cool. I thought that she was going to tell me that I won a car, but she didn't, unfortunately. But other than that, like Tyrone said, kudos to everyone that did find love on the show. And, you know, and to all the ones also too, where, you know, doors started to open, like Mike Bless, just for example. You know, he was on Ready to Love, and now he's like this big time actor. His resume is like, it's really extensive now. So I'm really proud of him, and I'm proud of everyone that's, you know, taking, you know, who they are and just becoming better and just doing better and, you know, giving back to the community and doing things, events, women empowerment events, just stuff like that. So yeah, shout out to pretty much everybody that went through the process, made it through the process, and didn't get hospitalized for it. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and
I did remember something. My sister made the 100th episode.
Did she? Is one of the fans?
No. Remember when they were doing all the DC group shots?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, one of the group shots happened to be my birthday party.
Oh,
and my sister was there, so she's in the group shot. So,
oh, how does she feel about that when she saw herself?
Of course, she was like, "How much was it? Did I get screen time? Did I look good? Was my forehead shiny? You know."
That's cool. Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have done kimchi. I'm working. I feel like that they could have. You want to say hi or something? Okay, we just gonna get off topic a little bit. Come here. Say hi since you're so pressed. Say hi, Kimchi. Say hi, Kimchi. Hi, look. I don't have no treats. So yeah. So I feel like that they could have. I don't know. I think my expectations was up here, and I was just expecting more from the 100th episode, and I just didn't get it really. And I just was like, dag, I wish they would have, you know, but it was cool.
Yeah, like I feel you. I was expecting more of a, you know, I thought they were gonna highlight more of the current situations, like what are they doing now?
Right.
That would have been good.
Replaying
Exactly.
old episodes and old moments, which was cool, but I think it would have been good to get an update of like, you know, what's most of the cast doing right now.
So can I tell y'all something?
What's
because I was on there, that was what they asked me. They were like, let us know what you're doing. Are you dating anyone? Like, what do you, I did. I was like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, da, 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 da. I'm single. I was like, da, 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 da. You can reach me on social media. I'm doing YouTube panels, da, 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 reviewing the show. You know, the missing link, interviewing the castmates, you know, letting them talk about their businesses. I mean, I said all of that. And the only thing they showed was, can you guys believe it's the 100th episode? I can't believe it. And that's all they showed. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, that's all they're going to show. I was like, I said all this stuff about what I was doing now, but they didn't show any of it. So anywho, shout out to Stacy B. Are you with us yet, Stacy? Honey, she's probably getting off her own jet right now, landing. You know how Stacy does.
One second.
Okay.
Get these kids together. Hold on.
Okay, honey. Well, we're here waiting for you whenever you're ready. Shout out to Another Round. Another Round, if you guys don't know, that is Jay. She has her own YouTube channel as well. She is one of our faithful soulmates, and she puts up a lot of the links that belongs to us with the panel. And you guys can go ahead and make sure you follow the panel. Make sure you subscribe to their channels. And yeah, we're going to keep it moving. All right, guys. All right, let's just get started. I'm sorry.
Oh,
my notes up. Are y'all ready?
Yeah, I was getting ready to go get the sandwich, but go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
No, we good. Go ahead.
No, in real life, go ahead and we'll just work around.
Okay.
You know, y'all know, like, we do these panels, we come together because this is something that we all enjoy. And you know what I mean? Like, we do these at least for 3 hours minimum. So I just want to know, honestly, and then, you know, like, I appreciate you guys taking the time and coming over here with me and doing this with me. So sometimes, and y'all know, sometimes you got to eat because we ain't ate dinner yet, we ain't ate lunch yet. You know, like, we got kids, we have responsibilities. You know, so we really do try to show up for, you know, the people that support us. And I appreciate you guys. So if you have to take a moment to grab something to eat, absolutely do that. Just don't pick your teeth and fluck it on the camera. You know what I'm saying? Hi, Stacy.
Hi. I'm with
Welcome.
I'm with the tree Tyrone hates. The tree in my house.
He hates the tree. Did he say that to you?
Yes, he hates it. He's like, well, you know where you have this one little, like, sorry, this one little spot I'm always in. My bad.
I like the tree.
It's pretty when it's not blurred, but I don't know what's back there, so I had to blur it. No,
I feel you, girl. Sometimes it gotta be like that. All right, guys. Real quick, did you want to say anything about, we started off saying, or we talked about, like, a summary of how you're feeling about not this necessarily this episode, but Miami season. Do you have any comments about it before we get started?
About the Miami season? Well, all right. Happy 100th episode. Yes. I was so stoked to see SabrinaSeoul on there. I was a little bit disappointed that none of the cast for my season was had a little snippet to say, because I feel like, you know, like, I feel like we had so much to offer to Ready to Love, and I feel like on our seasons, you know, it was really about dating and stuff. Like, we were getting to the nitty-gritty. So but I'm super happy and proud to be a part of, like, such a positive movement, you know, of Black love. You know, the intent of it is to find Black love. So I'm so happy and honored to be a part of, you know, our wonderful cast, because if you really think about it, like, you guys are some awesome people. Like, I haven't even met Sabrina in real life yet, but she just has welcomed me with loving arms, and we're so supportive of each other. And, you know, even though we're not on the same seasons, we've made lifelong friends and connections with everyone, you know. So I'm super proud of us. And, you know, all in all, it's an amazing group, regardless of what their intentions were on the show, you know, what it was. Like, everyone collectively is doing such a phenomenal job post Ready to Love. And we're all growing, and it's such an honor, you know, to be amongst the ranks of you and Tyrone and Jay Bradley and, heck, Mike Bless. Can somebody tell me if he's single? Because y'all know we make a pretty little kid.
You know, I was just talking about Mike Bless.
I heard you. Y'all know I had it on. I was trying to get everything together real quick.
Yeah. So someone's asking, what season were you on, Stacey?
Well, the way the seasons got out of order, it's season 3/4. Right. Houston. We just hey, Soror. Hey, baby, it's the Houston season. Yeah. But yeah, right now on the show, Lord, I'm ready to talk about it, because this last episode, baby.
Honey.
Baby.
Well, we about to start. I just wanted to give everyone a moment to give their 2 cents, 4 cents before we got started, because I think we have a lot to say, especially about this episode. So let's dive in. All right, tonight we are talking about Ready to Love. We're going to be discussing Ready to Love, episode number 8. The episode starts with the ladies' lounge, and Tommy references them as the sexy 6 who is left. Tommy also tells the women that they will introduce the men to their exes. He also tells them that one man will be eliminated at the end of the week.
Oh, my bad.
At the end of the meeting, Jeffrey does tell Tommy that she needs to speak with him. She explains to Tommy that the first father pretty much hasn't been in her life for 6 years, the one that she was with for 12 years, or not with, but okay, y'all know what I mean. And the second father, pretty much, she gifted him a child, but with her career, he said that it was just entirely too emotional for him and that he couldn't handle it. Tommy tells her that this was a part of the process and that she really should do it, but if she couldn't, that he understood. And if she could not bring her ex, she needed to go and explain to her strongest connections what happened and why her exes are not there. So, who would like to begin? We can discuss Jeffrey and why she did not bring her exes to meet her connections.
I'll get mine out the way. I'll get out the way. The Jeffrey mask is starting to come off, and watching this episode, it reminded me of the Instagram, YouTube famous Kendra G show, when you have a woman who has like a lot of going on, a lot of obstacles, but expect you to, I guess, just take a look the other way on it. Because at first it kind of came off victim type situation where like she's not taking any of the blame and her wording was very particular. Like, well, um, she gifted a man a baby. Like, what does that mean? I want to know, what does that mean when you gift someone a baby? Did you make an agreement to give him his first child and then he reneged on the deal, or um, she had the previous father of her two children just walk away from her, but she was in high school. But it was very revealing because when she's speaking, it just kind of put you in made you calculate the numbers. What, Jeffrey's in her mid or early 30s, and she's pretty much been in two relationships or significant relationships that bore children, and it kind of shows that it's some. I mean, we talk about red flags. We got a whole bunch going on right here, and the fact that she even thinks that this is actually attractive, like she's chasing after Mark Anthony, and Mark Anthony doesn't even see it for her at all. It kind of shows her lack of discernment, her how much delusion she has, and I mean, she didn't fare well in this episode. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Dang. I mean, I didn't take it that way. I just took it as it's just an unfortunate situation where it looks like she tried, right? It wasn't like she was in 6-month relationships. You know what I mean? It just happened to be the third guy just wasn't a good guy. When I first saw it, I didn't understand what the whole gifting was either. And then, I thought about it for a bit, and I was thinking it was probably just a situation that she just didn't really want, to just have another child, considering she already had more children. And, as a gift to him, she was probably like, okay, I'll do it because I want to be with you. I don't already gave it a try with someone else for 12 years. Maybe this will work. And it didn't work. The only thing is that I feel like, she could have brought someone, if it wasn't, a most recent ex. I think it could have been someone, a friend of an ex, maybe not her best friend, or maybe, a brother, a cousin, an uncle, somebody, somebody that could speak on her behalf and ask questions of the men on her behalf, even if it wasn't, her best friend.
I agree.
That wasn't the assignment.
Yeah. So let me jump in here real quick. Let me just say this. We gotta stop acting like Black men don't walk away from responsibilities. It's sad that we do that, but we can't make this like it's a Jeffrey thing because it's happening right before our eyes. I've grown up in a neighborhood where a lot of men left these women, and they, knock them up, and then you don't see them no more. So we can't pinpoint her and make that make her having those men around a problem. Now, what I will say is Jeffrey has to, like you said, have some discernment within the type of men that she's meeting, right? But then you also have to pair that with the fact that she's 32 years old. Like, she had kids at a very young age, and she didn't probably gain the type of life skills that you need before you start picking a mate, in terms of his availability and how long he's going to be around. I mean, those, you don't gain those tools in life until you go through some stuff, or get a little bit older. So that's one thing. As for the ex, I think she said, she was with her first for what, like 12 years or something like that. So that's probably like the only guy that she knew, and then, met another baby's father, or met the other guy who was her other baby's father or whatever. So I don't know that, Jeffrey had an opportunity to really find somebody that knows her well enough that she could trust to bring on the show, and they wouldn't come in there and just kind of muddy it up. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, I hit people hard or whatever, but I feel like, and I'm not trying to give her a pass, because at the end of the day, if you can't find one, rent some. You could have found, somebody, but, at the end of the day, she probably was just like, look, I'm not trying to, live with that. In other words, you be in a hot seat because you just brought somebody on there for no reason, and then you got to watch what they say. So she probably didn't want to, do that. So there's that. Back to my sandwich.
Stacey B.
Well, I'm on the side of J Dub here. I'm so sorry, Paul. We all know what this show is. We've seen it before. She had plenty of time to prepare a stand-in. You got a friend. There have been seasons where people might not have brought an ex, like, per se. And hey, I was with my ex from 19 to 36. I didn't really date anyone. I can't say that I've had a boyfriend, but I mean, we ain't all crazy. Like, there was somebody for her to bring. To me, the excuse she used was just not, it wasn't hitting with me. It sounded like cap and red flags to me. Like a mixture of both, like a red flag with a cap on top of it. I don't know which one came first. But what I also didn't like was that, how is everybody in your life bad people? Like, Paul, you just said that there are some men that don't handle their responsibilities. There's also, a lot of men that do. And if we're talking about handling responsibilities, then we need to talk about accountability too, right? So if everybody in your past is crazy, damaged, not worthy of anything, like you don't even have a guy friend to bring to vouch for you, then you got me looking at you sideways, sis. And the other thing is that, like, let's be real about it. If all of your relationships have been toxic, right? What does that say about you? What does that say about what you're attracted to? What does that say about you owning up to yourself? The purpose of this is so we can do things differently. And still, you did not bring someone who has your interest, your best interest at heart, to ask the questions we desperately needed to hear of Mark Anthony and Andre. Am I lying? No, I'm not.
No, I agree. It's Dub. Did you?
She's only 32.
I was like, I'm like in the congregation because Stacy is preaching. I mean, she said everything I did not say. We are so on the same page, it's not even funny.
Yeah. P.O., what were you about to say? Oh, that she's only 32?
Yeah, so you have to give her a chance to, like, 32 years old. Like, think about what you were doing in your 30s, like when you were that young. And you have to understand too, probably the guys that she was dating when she was younger, probably those fellas, were probably just nobodies, or no good people. And you go through that when you're that young. You understand? Like, when you're 40 or in your 40s, you were looking for something totally different than you were when you were 20 something. So why would you want to bring those 20-year-old kids to a show like this?
You don't have a play
So,
cousin, a play boyfriend. You don't have one of your friends with benefit. You don't have nobody on the rotation at the congregation or at your occupation that can come and be a character witness for you, my good sister. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. I agree, because Tyrone even said that. Like in real life, if they asked me to bring my ex, I had an ex ready to come, and I even told him, I was like, look, I might need you on the show. And this was my ex back from when I was like 25 years old, and he was like, all right, let me know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Let me know what I got to wear. He was cool with it. But my thing is if I didn't have him, I wouldn't have brought any of my other exes on. I would have found somebody to like advocate for me, because that's the whole thing. My ex is an ex for a reason. In real life, I don't want him talking to my next, but I would have brought someone to give some type of insight on me to the men that are my strongest connections, because that's what it seems like. That's what it's there for, or what that situation is there for. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, what can my ex really say to the person that, and honestly, most of my exes, they all still want me. Like, so why would I, except for that one guy. Well, I can't even say that, but.
I'm going to let y'all in on one little secret, right?
What's the secret?
The reason why is going to come out later.
What?
The reason why.
Tell us now, though.
No, I'm telling you, I'm saying that the reason why is going to come out later in the show.
Do you know that for fact?
Come on, man.
I mean, I'm sure it will, but still, you still.
I need you to deliver.
Someone.
So in this, and speaking of that, let me just pause real quick. I'm sorry, I want to apologize to everybody here, the folks in the chat or whatever, because I did not deliver this week. I was a little off. Because I wasn't on my juice last time. I was drinking water, so I'm back on it. So I'm back on the delivery route. Yeah, it's going to come out later.
All right, real quick, guys, how you feel about her gifting a child to someone?
I feel like that gifting thing right there was just a statement, like the gift of life, I think is where she was going, right? And they, how they do, they take something awkward that you say and they run with it and make it a thing. But I think she was saying, like in terms of, I gifted him a child, like I gave him, I gifted him something that,
Yeah, I didn't take that as a bad thing. I took it as, a child is something special to her, and it is the gift, because maybe, she was probably not in a position to have many more,
right?
Medically. So to her, it was probably, a life-altering situation, to where it was something important for him to have a child. And with her medical condition, it probably is a gift,
right,
for her to even risk it. So
right.
I understand.
Stacey, you want to go or you want me to go?
I'll go after.
Here we go.
I can clean it up for you.
Yeah, that gifted is a deflective, evasive term. It's used to kind of take the responsibility off of her. 32 is young now, and the fact that if you're 16, you have 2 kids on your own and being single, you're gonna grow up pretty fast. And to come out of that situation and gift someone a child that you're not sure who's going to be there or not, and just walk on you, it's just not making sense. It's not adding up. It's like Stacy said, like every relationship or every dealing, someone has abandoned her, left her, you know, she's just been innocent in the situation. So it's an issue. It's a problem, and something is off about that. I gifted. She didn't gift it the first two kids. She just had them with a 12-year relationship. He abandoned her. He left her for he's been gone for 6 years, and this guy just walked away immediately after she gifted him. I'm done.
Yeah, but
Y'all are kind
of.
Let me just walked into the situation like 50-50. Do you know what I mean? I think because he left, that's how she has to say it instead of just walking around saying my baby daddy this, my baby daddy that. I think it's just a softer way to put it.
It may be a softer way to put it, but as a mother that has carried children, not one, not two, but 3 times, I was a little offended by that. I was like, listen, I will never repackage a gift that I got from the good Lord and give it to someone else, because my children are a gift from the Lord, baby. And I will not be re-gifting, repackaging any of my kids to suit any narrative or to make it, to put a little sugar with the spoon, the medicine to make it go down a little easier. Those are the loves of my life. I will never, ever classify my children as something designated as a favor, as a present, as a little trinket for someone else. Now listen, maybe this episode of Jeffrey just like took me over the edge with her. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat right now with her, and I don't know if my toes should cross that line. So maybe the whole thing just rubbed me wrong. And Paul, for the record, she didn't just say, "Oh, I gifted him," like one time. Like, we're not here to pass off little sound bites of how we refer to our children from problematic relationships. You know what I mean? We need to be like real about stuff. Like, that's not okay. Like, to me, that just rubbed me wrong as a mom on every. I was like, that is my baby.
Well, let me say this. I'm gonna do something that nobody did on this panel. I'm gonna do it. I'm going to apologize, right, on behalf of Black men, that we still have brothers out here that are leaving responsibilities on the table, right? Because ultimately, it doesn't matter what type of woman she was. It doesn't matter if she was toxic or, Godzilla, whatever. A man still should fight for his child, right? And if you walk away and just abandon the whole system because of an issue that you have with the mother, that's a problem, right? Now, the responsibility that Jeffrey needs to take is the fact that she chose a man like that to have a child with. So she's not, I'm not saying that she's, free and clear, but at the same time, us as Black men, we need to do better in these types of circumstances. The end.
Paul, I will not allow you to divert attention from the matter at hand. This is not a Black man blame session. We will not do that to the Black men in the world. Not all. Sometimes, okay. Sometimes, I'm not saying this is her case, but you got to take commentary at face value sometimes. We don't know. We haven't heard from them. She didn't have any of her friends or somebody show up and co-sign to what she's been through, or say, hey, are you this kind of man? Are you willing to accept her kids because this is what she's been through? We didn't get that from her to this episode. So we can't say that. I think it's unfair. It's unfair to cast people in a negative light when they cannot show up to defend themselves. We don't know what the situation is. And by all means, I will never, ever in my life, Lord knows it, justify a man or a woman that does not handle their weight, because there's plenty of men that are out here raising their kids as single parents as well. So we won't do that today. But what I will tell you is that we will not deflect and talk about baby daddies or the original gift horses. We're not about to do that. We need to stay at the matter at hand. She called her kids. She said she gifted a baby, and she didn't bring anybody here today. What's up?
Understand that? No, I understand that. I'm not deflecting, and I'm not saying that this is a black man issue. But what I'm telling you is these are problems that we don't address in the black community, right? We see this everywhere we go, you know, and it's prevalent amongst us black men because we grew up the same way. So like what I was saying was we have to stop recycling this type of behavior, right? And it doesn't matter who she is as a person, as a woman, as a man, right? You still don't leave your child there. It doesn't matter. You have a fight in this, right? And you have the same right to your child that you know that a woman has, and that's all I'm saying. So if she's saying that he bounced on her or whatever, you can't look at her like she did something wrong or whatever. When as a man, you still have the opportunity to do that.
This episode was not about active baby fathers, though.
No, but that's what I'm saying is that we went down this path because the father of her children, that were from previous relationships, and that's the reason why these men didn't show up to the show. Imagine if you have children, right, with a man, obviously, and he just dives out on the family, right? You're not going to go track him down and say, yo, I'm doing a show, and by the way, I want you to come on here, even though I know you're a deadbeat and you're not showing up for your kids. I want you to show up for me to do the show. Like, who does that? That's all I'm saying.
I don't think we're refuting that. We're not. I never said that. I said she could have had somebody, anybody, Bueller.
I mean,
anybody.
Yeah, I understand, but okay.
In this moment, I just felt like in this moment, like we got a lot of clarity from the other women and the types of relationships they've been in, the types of people they are when they're dating. We got a lot of information from them based on the people they brought. I also feel like you got to get a peek as to who these women a little bit closer of like who they are. So that's all I'm saying. I'm saying I would have liked it if she would have brought someone.
Right. I mean, so she should have basically went to rentanegro.com and just brought somebody in there. Yeah. But then we would be calling the show faker or fake or whatever.
Well, at the end of the day, my thing is I wonder, the only thing I just kept thinking to myself was, did she ever stop to think, what if they really didn't want this gift? Sabrina, I got these glasses for you. I figured that you might like them. I don't really like brown.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if she ever stopped to think,
And that's where
I think I'm ready to be a single mom again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I do. And that's where I said she has responsibility in this, because you have to choose the men based off of, the dynamics, family dynamics, backgrounds, morals, things like that. And if you're dating somebody that has no moral capability, you should not be laying down giving this man children. So yeah, that's on her.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. I'm sure she's an amazing mom, but but the fact that I just hope that, moving forward, she, watches some of these panels back and looks at some of these comments, because 32 it's not that young, but it's way younger than me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm old enough to be her mom. But,
right.
At the end of the day, I hope that she really kind of looks back and looks at the comments and looks at these panels and really see and try to understand, like, having a child, like, at the end of the day, having a child is something really, really serious. Like, you're bringing a whole human being into this world. So to say that you're gifting someone a whole child, I don't know. I don't think she ever stopped to think like, maybe like, what if he doesn't want it? Not even now. Like, what if at the age of 7 or 8 he leaves? Like, I wonder if she ever thought about that. Well, I hope the other decisions that she makes, especially big decisions like that, she really, takes some time to really think about the consequences and think about all the pros and the cons behind it, especially something that's serious. Tyrone, it's J-Dub. Did you guys speak on this subject? I can't remember. My apologies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's J-Dub did too.
I personally just need to hear more. Need to hear more. Paul talking mighty confident, so maybe he knows something we don't. Especially Paul apologizing for something, that a lot of men do, not just Black men. But I got you, Paul.
I wish she would have brought someone. She could have brought somebody, but unfortunately she didn't. And I don't know, it just makes me feel like if she and someone said it, and I really try not to talk so much about this, but someone said it in the comments a few times, like in real life, like Walter brought someone. We all know who Walter brought. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like she could have found someone. And I know she says that she doesn't really stay friends with the people that she used to associate with on that type of level, but she could have brought somebody. But anyway, let's move on to the next scene, because Jeffrey, like, she's a star of the show, child, her and Blake. So the very first date that they show is Tony and Lyndon. They are meeting Morgan's ex, Junior, who she dated for almost 3 years. Morgan states that her relationship with Junior was superficial and she doesn't know what pretty much he will say. Lyndon enters and they have small talk about Morgan. Then Tony enters and says that his impression of Junior was really, and he was not impressed. Junior tells the men that Morgan has a little crazy in her. He explains to the men that she thought that he was cheating. She did put Nair in his hair. Tony says that Morgan wasn't being honest about her feelings towards Junior. Her words weren't matching her actions, and that bothers him. Morgan states that she is seeing a red flag with Tony about how he handled the situation. And Lyndon was just calm, cool, collective Lyndon the whole time. All right, so we got Morgan, her date with her ex, and Lyndon and Tony. This should be interesting. I'm ready
This is already interesting. So I'll speak on it first. I feel like Morgan checked out from Tony and said, what she said, because Tony found her out. In other words, you weren't being honest and upfront about how you felt about this situation. Otherwise, you wouldn't have done that. But the whole Nair in the hair thing, what I was looking for, and I went back and I watched that, and I watched some other stuff too, like the exclusive or whatever. And the whole thing I wanted to see was some remorse, something that says, I was childish, I should never have done that. I wasn't, in the right place, or, I learned from being that person. But I saw like a sinister kind of smile and attitude and all of that stuff, as if it was cool, like, hey, you could get it too. But, that type of vibe. I wasn't feeling that. And for me, I was, I always try to look for a way to get somebody out of the trouble that they put themselves in on these shows. But for her, there was no way out. Like, you did it, you said it, you laughed about it, you gloated, and you thought it was cool. And then you doubled down on a date with Mark Anthony and you said those same things. I just can't, it's red flags all over the place. Actually, it's burning red, like, red.
Flames coming out. It's J-Dub, what you got?
Well, I mean, this is the one I've been waiting for because I mean, BBD told us about Morgan a long time ago. Never trust a big button to smile. That girl is poison. And I'm gonna tell you like this: I was so bothered, triggered, disgusted, you name it, because this is such a double standard, and this is like a reflection of our society. And I mean, because I'm going to go on a rant, a tangent on all of this, where like uh, a woman, some women can do and behave any way they want. People don't blink an eye. They don't even mention they think it's funny or anything like that. Imagine if a guy did that to one of your daughters or something of that nature. It would be absolutely criminal. Somebody could get hurt. Um, so many bad things can happen about this. And for her to feel comfortable to share that story, laugh about it, take no responsibility because what the allegation that he might have been cheating, you're going to make this man lose his hair. Anything could have happened. Whatever. What if he was allergic to nair? What if it got in his eye? Just taking that from a man. That's like because your lady makes you mad. I'll cut your hair off because I think you're cheating. That would be so ridiculous. That would be so absurd to do. And I'm sick of the double standards. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, like, even to showcase this on this show, I just don't understand it. And it really needs to stop. I mean, it's time for men to have rights too, because it's like, some women can just behave and do whatever, say whatever. And a man, I guess, in his stance, supposed to just sit and take it and say, oh, well, that's a woman, or it was cute. No, it was terrible. And I mean, Morgan was like one of my favorites starting in the beginning, but absolutely, she has shown her face, and it just gives me a pause and makes me look at all of these people differently. Like, you really have to sit down and take a look and assess people. So that's it for me.
Tyrone?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the behavior that we have been seeing from Morgan, ever since her very first scene when she walked out on Blake. I think J Dub just mentioned it. Like, that the exes is gonna tell you almost everything you need to know, about the person, and the ex called her crazy. I just think Morgan likes excitement in her relationships. Maybe she feels like excitement, a little bit of volatility, like, works for her, moves her. It lets her know that the other person cares, and maybe she just needs that constantly. Some people prefer peace in their relationships. I know me personally. I know I would never purposely, hurt someone that I'm with, even if it is a jump off. But if they are purposely trying to find ways to hurt me, then that's definitely not what I want. What else was I going to say? She called it clever. She didn't really have any remorse about it at all, and it just kind of makes me think, like, what was below Nair and what was above Nair, and what made Nair, the go-to, right? To go in, it was that man's pride and joy, right? His hair. They both admitted it. Like J Dub said, it's something that we definitely couldn't do as a man, especially just to sit back there and laugh at it and call it clever. I wouldn't want my lady or anyone looking for clever ways to take my pride, because that's what they called it, right? And I think I had a good point. Lastly, he didn't seem to be that mad about it. So maybe that was just the situation that they was both in. He was able to laugh about it. Probably wouldn't work in most cases. I really don't think Morgan either understands some of the things that she says or even cares about some of the things that she says. Sometimes I feel like once she makes a decision about someone, or that person is not going to be an option, you know, she can be a little bit cutthroat. One thing that did got me, it was really, really quick, is that she actually asked the ex how he felt about her, you know? And I'm like, this is an ex date. I don't give a damn why are you asking this
Exactly.
man? You know, why do you even need to know right now at this point? And how is that going to make you feel to know that he felt this way about you? Like, why is that even an option? Why would that even come out your mouth at this friend's date? I mean, at this ex's date. But, you know, I'm not really surprised anymore. I think we'll see a lot more of it because, you know, it just seems to be how she is.
Stacey B.
Well, okay, let's start with he said it, going to what Tyrone was saying. I think because his hair grew back. He wasn't too heartbroken because his hair grew back at this point. She said she did it because she knew how much he loved his hair. She didn't even have proof that he was cheating. Even if she did have proof that he was cheating, there's no justification for doing something that horrible to a person. Not only did she put it in his hair at night, but if you listen to what he said he was pouring it out his shampoo bottle. So she had taken it up a whole notch and had even put it in this man's shampoo. Like this is crazy. Like like if a man did something as, in Paul's words, sinister as this to a woman, as y'all know how hard it is for us to get our edges, our kitchen right. Y'all know how if you get the wrong cut, how long it takes to grow our hair. Y'all know how our hair is the definition of our femininity, our blackness, of so many levels of us, like our identification as a woman. And so, like this same heat that we would feel if a man did it to a woman, you should feel the same way towards her doing it to this man right here. And then, as Sabrina said, she had the audacity to be like, well, what you feel about me? Girl, what? In front of your potential like matches, you're asking someone off the grid, what does he feel about you? Like, are you trying to check for him too? Like, this whole date was awkward. She was laughing about it. Like, even she had time to mature past this. I don't know when the breakup was, but she had time to mature past this. And she still didn't get it. It's like she still didn't get the craziness of her actions or how anybody else could have easily pressed charges against her. And she could have had some stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it was really telling about her, not just like her toxicity level, but her maturity level, because you didn't learn anything from him, from this. You didn't learn anything from this experience. And so what that says to me or to a man is that she'll do something just as crazy to you. Duck and run.
P.O.
So yeah, so just some final thoughts on this. I get it. That episode was when she was there. She basically, showed herself, right? And I will say, Tony is probably not the guy that you want to pull that shit with. Being as though he's one of your connections. I just don't. I just feel like that would be chaos. If that was to ever occur in that relationship. But what I will say is this: as bad as that episode was, we got the point. We knew exactly what the network was showing us. One thing that I didn't like, which was from the show's perspective, is the fact that okay, we get it, but they really went out of the way to beat her down when they showed the exclusive. And I'm thinking like we could have done without that, right? I mean, we get it. It was just like kind of overkill. And then what made it even more overkill was they named the episode "Nair in the Hair." So I mean, the network has to do a little bit better when it comes to, high quality. I think we need to, try and revert back to that high quality.
Tyrone, you was about to say something?
I don't know. It just sounds like we blaming the network for something.
No.
that
I'm not blaming the network. No, I'm not blaming the network at all. What I'm saying is that the network they released this extra footage clip after that, right? And I don't know if you had a chance to watch it.
No, I didn't
Okay.
watch it. I don't think we needed
Well,
to even watch it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you just said is exactly what I'm saying. Like, we got the point. They didn't have to go out of the way to murder it down, murder it down into the ground. Like, okay, you see this, the knee on the neck thing. We get it.
What was different in the
What
exclusive?
was different in the so they had her on a date with Mark Anthony, and then she basically said to him,
Oh yeah.
I'm
She
going to tell
retold
you
the
what.
story again.
Right. And so that's what I'm saying. We could have used that.
So basically, they brought up. It sounded like they brought up the story in the men's lounge. So now that she's on a date with Mark Anthony is asking, "Yo, what's up with the Nair situation?" And it was just part of the date. And
then
she could have, like Stacey said, she had another chance to show remorse at that date.
Right.
She didn't.
Right.
So,
And that was one of the things that I looked at too, and I'm like, damn, she's laughing in this one too. However, I feel like the network could have used that slot to tell us something different about somebody else that we didn't know, is what I'm saying. Instead of just beating beating a dead horse. We get it. That's all.
I'm starting to figure out Paul's tendencies and who you have soft spots for.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
I mean, listen. I'm a fair man across the board. And when I see BS, I call it out. Right? I never, you got, like, everybody got on me about Blake, but to this point, I haven't seen Blake be disrespectful. I haven't seen him, do anything other than speak his mind, his truth, and say, hey, this is who I'm dating, this is who I'm feeling,
Right.
and I don't have to deal with that.
Agreed.
Nothing else. So I always just the first thing I try to do is figure out the best side of a person. If I don't see it, if it's not there, then it's not there. But I also got to call out when, if it's overkill, it's overkill. That's all.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I agree. Y'all pretty much said everything that I would say. So yeah, I'm just glad that I just hope that she watches back some of these reviews and she goes on Twitter and looks at some of those Facebook posts and really just kind of see, like, because it's like when you're filming the show, when you're on TV, when you're in front of the cameras, especially when you get comfortable by episodes 6 and 7, you kind of lose that composure. You're not as shy anymore. Like, you get real comfortable. You actually forget sometimes the cameras are even there. And I hope that she watches it back and reads some of the comments. And I mean, and she might be one of those people that just don't care, but I hope that she understands, like, the severity of, like, what she did. My thing is that do unto others. Like, how would you feel? And I know, and someone said in the comments, like, she was in the beginning, like, she was real religious. Let's pray. Yeah. So my thing is that, like, what if someone did that to you, Morgan? Like, how would you have felt? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like putting the shoe on your foot and just kind of, I don't know. But anyway,
and hold up, but while you said this, one thing I learned in, growing up, with my mom and all that stuff, is that, I've been in the church, and, if the devil shows up, he's going to pray with you too. Because he don't want you to know who he is.
Say it again.
Well, all I know is if she would have did that to Tony, I'm not even going to put that in the universe. But anyway, I just think that it would have ended very, very horribly. But anyway, does anyone have anything else to say about Morgan and Nair? Okay, let's move forward. Well, then, Cynthia is bringing her children's father, James. Andre enters and asks James, why is he Cynthia's ex? James tells Andre to speak up. I can't hear you. James and Andre go back and forth, and Andre starts to get frustrated with him. James is coming off, to me, he was coming off very passive aggressive. James continues to dig deep with the men, and Anthony does enter as well and ask them questions about their past relationships, their intentions with Cynthia, etc. Andre reminds James that a couple times that he isn't going to bring anyone into his life. And yeah, or he isn't just going to bring anyone into his life because he was in Forbes. James says that Andre was uncomfortable and that's why he got up and left. Andre or Anthony has to leave also and tells James that, and James is like, look, he got to go too. And he tells James like pretty much, no, like get my information from Cynthia. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't going nowhere, as a matter of fact. He also states that he needs to talk to Cynthia a little bit more because James, her ex, ain't going nowhere because that is the father of her children. Cynthia asked James what he thought about the men. James didn't like how Andre kept talking about his credentials. And he said that when Anthony said he wasn't going anywhere, that was game. He was running game. Cynthia says that James didn't come to meet the men, only to piss them the F off. To summarize that scene?
Well, I'll say this. First off, what's his name? What was her ex name?
Mark. Well, oh no, wait a minute. No, James. I'm sorry.
James. I feel like James is like the same person as T-Pain, right? And so he's sitting back, and when Andre first pulled up and said, because Andre, not Andre, is Andre? Yeah, Andre. Andre pulled up. He tried to come in with the list, Mr. Loverman swag, and he's like, "Hold on, ho. I had what you trying to get, bruh. So I'm gonna, just get brunt with you. You know what I mean?" And he came in on some, let me smooth and get in there, and homeboy called him out. And then when Andre realized, damn, this motherfucker over on that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to MF her. I normally don't say the MF word here, but when he realized that he saw, what I mean, seen him like how he did, he was just like, yo, and then it became a sparring match instead of really trying to get to know, homegirl and get information off of him. And dude did that on purpose, I think, just to get him off kilter. What I will say about Anthony is this. I learned a lot about Anthony, right? Because normally when I used to see him, I would just see him kind of off on the side, you know what I mean? Just kind of, a little bit of 2 cents here, a little 2 cents there. But Anthony came in and stepped up, you know what I'm saying? And said, yo, look, daddy's home. So you don't have to get used to me. And homeboy was mad. He kind of shut him down like, no, give him my number. Your people, my people. We do lunch or whatever type of vibe. I respected that. But I think Andre in this moment, he was already off. So the date was over for him. Anything that came out of his mouth was just going to be reckless. That's it.
J-Dub, sorry.
With this scene, I guess the only thing I could really focus on was how James was calling himself checking Andre. And as a man, you come across situations like that where you have to just establish what's going on, regardless of who's sitting in front of you, regardless of if Andre is one of Cynthia's connections. he needed to address James right then and there when he talking about speak up and how do I know all this? Like it was way too over the top. Like he was challenging his manhood and like the the more he allowed, the further he went. So I got it why Andre just couldn't take it no more. And he was rattled and he got up and just kind of walked away and he was just talking about his accomplishments and everything. But he let James win that battle. But it really wasn't about going back and forth. It was just about respect at the time. And he didn't give Andre none at all. And it makes me question if you could really come into that situation with Cynthia and have a healthy relationship without James being so involved. She knew what he was doing, and she knows what type of man he is. So like the fact of the matter, you have to deal with him. He's not just an ex. He's the father of her children. So another red flag for Cynthia. You know, she's my favorite, but that's no, that's a caution. I'm done.
I'll go after Stacy.
Sorry. Okay, Stacy.
Well, I feel like it really threw. You can tell James is thrown off because only a like so I can say this. So if James was a girl, because I can say this from a lady's perspective, right? The only kind of people that gets at you like that are people who are intimidated by you. So I didn't like, Andre dwelling on the Forbes thing, but James was definitely out of line for how he treated and talked to these men. Like the points wasn't to be confrontational. It was to get information out. So he failed his assignment. He did not understand his assignment. And you can tell that Cynthia was genuinely shook by his actions because she was like, oh my God, I need a shot like now. Like I need one stat. You know what I mean? And I don't know if like this was like some hate, like, I mean, not like if this was like a cultural thing, because I believe all four of them. I'm not sure about Michael. Ain't his name Michael? Anthony. I'm not sure about Anthony, but the other ones are Haitian, right? Because I felt like I heard like the real strong accent. I didn't even notice Andre had an accent until he started talking with James. Like I was like, what? Like, oh, I didn't know, sir. So I feel like this was a little much. And in all the times when I thought like Andre was doing the most, in this he showed a lot of restraint and maturity in getting up and leaving. Because if someone's gonna disrespect you, and this is the James show, then hey, what can you say? And what I can say about Anthony was that is the kind of physician assistant, nurse practitioner I want on my bedside. Because baby, he was so suave under pressure. That is who I need. Putting the needle in my arm, giving me stitches. Somebody that know how to do things calm, cool, and collected. Like that. Hey, that's. I don't have nothing to say about him after that. But James was doing the most. I just really feel bad for Cynthia in this moment. Like I don't know if James was putting on, but he's going to interrupt a lot of happiness and opportunities for Cynthia if he continues to, scare people away from being in a relationship with her by acting as if he's a problematic ex.
Tyrone.
Yeah, I was just back here warming up.
Oh.
I honestly think everybody just needs to watch the scene again. Because I thought it was wow. Like I said, that the exes is gonna let you know. And so first off, we have to have faith in the reason that Cynthia brought him there, right? She got 2 kids with him, she trusts him, and I think James did exactly what he was supposed to do. First of all, the way Andre walked in wasn't a good look. I feel like James said everything that every guy ever wanted to say to a dude, when they meet the sister boyfriend for the first time, and you know he ain't about nothing, but you still want to support your sister, so you don't say nothing. He had a little bit of time to do what he needed to do, and that was vet those guys. And I think he did it perfectly. Was he a little bit harsh? Yes, but you have to be. So when we first met Andre, he was talking about popping bottles, I'm with models, blah, blah, blah. And he walked in there like that. When he met James, he dapped him up. If it was me, I'm going to be like, I'm not your man's. Don't dap me up. Do what Anthony did. Shake my hand like a man. You know what I mean? Shake my hand. I'm not necessarily vetting you to be Cynthia's man. I'm vetting you to be a parental figure for my kids. Right? What are you going to do? It's almost like in Bad Boys. Can he fight? Can he fight? You know? If he can't fight, he can't take my daughter out. So if he was genuine, then there ain't no pressure. I'm here. I like your sister. I want to be with your sister. It's easy. That is easy. You know what I mean? You can tell. And I hope this is a teachable learning moment for Andre and everyone else on the show. If you're going to meet family members, like treat them with respect. Treat them like it's going to be a business deal. Like, we're not friends yet. I don't know you. Don't dap me up. Shake my hand like you mean business. I don't think James was that harsh at all. And you can see that his attitude changed a little bit when he saw the genuineness come from Anthony. I feel like Anthony is focused. I feel like Anthony was focused once he had that last conversation with Mercedes, and you can kind of see it. You know, it helped him decide who he wanted to be with. I feel like he knows. I think it's gonna work out for him. You know, you gotta be able to stand 2 toes down. You know, and Anthony is somebody that I would want to be introduced to if it was my sister, you know, or my ex. You know, and that's really all it is. You know, there's no pressure at all. I'm here. I want to be with your sister. What's good? You can ask me any question you want. It shouldn't be hard at all.
Let me jump in there for a second.
I was about to say, J-Dub,
yeah,
please.
one part I forgot, in which uh one thing I agree with James. He actually did run Anthony off. You know, he gave a good one liner, but after he put the pressure on Anthony, he said, "Hey, you suspect," and I agree with him. He is suspect. You know, that's the unpopular opinion. So Anthony got out there too. He knew it was getting hot,
Well,
but he left less frazzled. Go ahead, P.O. I hear you.
no, I was gonna say they all suspect, to be honest. But I think Anthony, when he came to the party, he brought his best self. He didn't back down from Homeboy, and and Homeboy was trying to rattle him. He was definitely trying to, dig. But he's like, hey, pause. Let me show you what's up, because you're gonna be calling me, brother, daddy, or whatever, you know. And I liked to see that part from Anthony. But I didn't like when Andre, kind of ducked off or whatever, and then he started talking about Forbes and all of that. Like, bro, what does
Yo,
this have to do with anything? But hold on, I'll say this: Andre's energy probably went south because he probably was like, "Yo, I wasn't trying to rock with you anyway. Why am I here? Like, you ain't even on my radar like that. Somebody else." So,
but if you listen, it was more than just about being on Forbes. Like, I was kind of with Andre until he said, listen, I can get anybody I want, right? Because of this, that, and this.
which
I would have
which is
been
dumb
I would have
because
been done with him at that moment.
yeah, why would you say that though to somebody? Why, like, at the end of the day, I get it. I could say, I could be with a gazillion girls because I got this kind of money. But why would you verbalize that in a dating situation to somebody that you're basically saying, I don't have to value you. I can always revert back to who I am if at any time you get out of line.
Right. And I think we shouldn't like keep approaching it as he's Cynthia's ex, but like approach it as him vetting a guy to be with his children. And I feel like Cynthia was just uncomfortable because maybe she likes peace, right? She don't like that conflict, and maybe she don't get to see, exactly how men vet each other, because that's exactly what we do. From the moment you walk in the door, I'm peeping everything. Almost
Right, but
everything Andre did was wrong.
oh yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, you're exactly right. And at the end of the day, when my man, as soon as he said, speak up, I probably would have responded to that totally different. Like, you need to get a little closer. If you can't hear me, you need to move in a little bit. But see, Andre gave him the power when he actually did what he said to do. And at the end of the day, you all know. I mean, if you deal with alpha men or whatever, and you can't give your power away to another man. You know what I mean? Because now you conform and you're gonna basically do whatever he tell you to do. I'm not that guy to listen to him. You understand what I'm saying? And based off of that alone means to me that, and I'm not saying, Andre in per se in general as a man, but if I see a man cower down like that, I already know I'm gonna have him do whatever the hell I say, and he really can't hold his own because he's listening to me and he don't even know me.
Yeah,
Shit,
I think we're being a little bit too harsh about the speak up comment. Mind you, they
not
got
at all,
maybe
not at all.
they got mics on, so the volume is good for us. So maybe he did need to speak up. Speak
It
up.
doesn't matter. But the way that he said it,
It
he was
was
like,
his tone.
he was like, speak up, man.
He
I can't
wasn't
hear you.
listening from the sound room. What are you talking about? Maybe
No, what I'm saying is maybe that wasn't even the beginning of the conversation, right? Maybe
It
him
don't
saying speak
matter.
up could have been about something else. Was he a little bit harsh?
right.
Yeah.
Now
Did
that's
he
true.
need to be
Speak up could have been about anything else
yeah.
in life.
Did he need to be a little bit harsh? Yes, he needed to be a little bit harsh.
Ty, you
Put
tripping.
Listen,
kids on the line. He need to be a little
You
bit harsh.
you tripping, Ty. Nobody deserves disrespect like that.
When did
Depending
he
on who was
disrespect
sitting
the
fact,
across
lady?
from
He is
him,
passive aggressive.
depending on who's sitting across from him, that could have went a whole nother way
When
in
did he
real life.
yeah,
disrespect her?
I applaud guys who can, let's say, show maturity. After that, for me, that date would have been over right then and there in
When
real
did he
life.
disrespect her?
No, you don't talk to anybody like if you like
right,
how you interrupted me, Ty. I say, Ty, don't interrupt me. There's a difference me
Okay.
saying, Ty, can I go or can you let me speak? There's a way you say things, and everybody
facts,
deserves respect. So you don't
right.
talk to people like that, especially a man to man type situation that could have got real
Yeah,
ugly. You can't
yeah. You
excuse
ain't gonna
that.
talk. You ain't gonna talk to
You,
me
you can't.
like that. If
There's
it,
no way. I mean, take the mic off and all that. It'd have got all the drama out of me. There's no way in
facts,
hell. My father wouldn't speak to me like that because I wouldn't speak to him like that. My
right,
mother wouldn't speak. Nobody would speak to me like that, and it'd be okay. That is total
facts.
disrespect. Bottom line. Period. There's no other way to take it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
no
not
Well,
doubt.
saying that he was.
can I
Like I
say this?
yeah,
Like
like I said.
I love what you brought, Ty. Like you and what all the men on this panel have brought to the conversation because y'all made me look at it in a different way. Like like y'all are mansplaining things, and I think like that's always helpful to see it from that perspective. But like to dismiss that. Like I really appreciate it. However, like if a woman would have been like, "Speak up." I can't hear you. Like if a woman would have said the things that James said, or if another lady, from a cast member would have gotten them like, I got something to do, because you disrespected me. I ain't here for everyone would have had a problem with everything. It's just so crazy to me how like we can make excuses and exceptions for certain people and certain things and not for other people and other things. I mean, I think it's crazy because if a lady would have been behaving like James, y'all would have thrown all the red. It would have been we would have been playing flag football. The amount of red flags y'all would have been throwing. I'm just saying that.
What I'm saying is that we don't know the context of when he said speak up. We only know what we heard, right? And that may not have been the beginning of the date where he said, speak up. It could have been about a whole bunch of other different things that he probably wasn't speaking up about. So dudes like, speak up. I can't hear you.
But it was how he said it, not what he said.
I get
Facts.
it. I get it. But in that kind of situation, you gotta vet the guy, or else he gonna just say what he need to say to get through the date.
Listen, the kid James, he did everything he was supposed to do, right? And that is he's supposed to be rigid and all of that stuff. But the fellas that was talking back, or particularly Andre, he wasn't supposed to back down like that to another man. You don't do that. Like if you it's like you standing on the sidewalk and I'm like, move, and you do it, then I just basically took your man card and punched a hole in it.
So do y'all feel like he said anything disrespectful to Anthony?
Nah, he tried it, and Anthony was like, look, you're not gonna do this to me. We're not gonna do this. Now we're gonna have a conversation, but I'm gonna put you in the checkbox. So, you start with that foolishness, we're not even gonna have that. He did what J Dub basically said he was gonna do, which is if you come with that BS, I'm gonna be out. So
I think we're gonna end up seeing that James did his job.
I don't doubt that James did his job. Like that's not a doubt. Did he do it? Did he do it with a little bit of stank on it? Yes. But for me, my bigger picture is like, is this how he is whenever Cynthia meets somebody? Like, at the end of the day, well, Ty, you shake your head no, but then he kept reverting to, we have kids together, so I'm in her life forever. No, you're not. Them kids gonna go and be on their business one day, and you are on your business. You probably done moved on, got your own life, and you sitting here. It's one thing to be concerned and really want the best for her. It's another thing to just, for the hell of it, act a fool when you don't have to. It's one thing to ask the important questions. It's another thing to ask them in an inappropriate way. And I think what threw Andre off was he was expecting maybe not so much like an easy breezy, but I think he was expecting like more of a professional, like question and answer session. I don't think that's realistic when you're dealing with someone's ex, but I think he was looking for something like a little more professional. You know what I mean? I think Anthony just was like, I'm damn near a doctor. I ain't about to sit here and entertain you, and moved on. So I don't know. I just, like I said, I think it was inappropriate. I can appreciate that he was asking some good, hard questions. I feel like if I were a man, I would have felt disrespected and like he was talking to me sideways.
I think that, sorry guys. Y'all know I'm kind of snack my dinner. I feel like that Andre was in his feelings because he walked up and James was like, talk up. And he was drilling him. And then 10 minutes later, from what we saw, Anthony was like, all right, next question. Let's move on, in the middle of his comment when he was talking to James. So I feel like that Andre's masculinity was being tested. And I think at that point, he's like, yeah, I think he was in his feelings, to be honest with you.
He caved. You can't, when as a man, when your masculinity gets tested, I don't even care. Like, it's the same thing that happens when you go to jail and you walk the yard or whatever, right? They gonna poke at you and they gonna see if they could break you. And if they know they could break you, they gonna break you. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like he came in, fresh fish, walking the yard. He poked at him and he got him. And once he knew he had him, he really started drilling him.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. So, and I just feel like, and you guys know I try to drop little gems every now and then without giving too much away, because I'm just not that person, and I really mess with OWN. Not all of us mess with OWN, but I mess with OWN. But the reason and I know a lot of times too, because on my season, I was like, y'all, I have to go because I have a styling gig. One of the gems is to let you know that Andre wasn't just like, I gotta go. They tell us when to leave. They tell us when to get up. So when Andre was like, all right, man, like, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing it, just to let you know, the production was telling him, it's time for you to go.
Wrap it up. Yeah.
So that's just to let y'all know it wasn't just him trying to roll out. And you know, and James, the father, didn't probably know that the producers told him to go, because they were probably behind James, letting Andre know it's time for you to go. Let him know that you got to go. So just to put that out there. So he wasn't running. And that's why Anthony right after that ended up going as well, because after he left, they told, just like I had a styling gig, just like Mumin, 10 minutes later, she had a singing gig or whatever. P.O., you can't be.
Exactly.
No, I'm just joking. You can go ahead and show it. That's how they do it.
Exactly.
This how they be.
So I try not to give too much away, but you know.
Well, you know what? I don't. You can get it all off me. Just, you know, show up and I got you. I'm transparent.
Yeah. All right. Does anybody have anything else with Cynthia and James and Andre and Anthony?
Hey, real quick, Cynthia, is the one that Andre said, you didn't check on me when I was sick?
No.
He was talking about Mercedes.
Yeah. Okay, that was the one. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so then then let me correct myself, because I said that when he came in the date, he probably was already hot because he didn't feel like being there, but that was Mercedes. I forgot about that.
And wasn't Andre kissing in the very next scene?
Right.
Yeah, he was. Oh, he seemed like he was doing a little bit more than that, you know. Then I guess that's what we saw, though.
I guess the other thing that goes down, then, you know, it wasn't really much to fight for.
Yeah, please, let's get to that scene, because I got all kind of questions on that one.
I still like to have a drink with the young fella. right, Paul?
What's up?
Still like to have a drink with him.
He only accepts 4 drinks.
No.
If you don't have a Forbes drink, he ain't drinking it. Not that fountain.
Right.
All right. Let's move forward. Lord have mercy. James was a character, child. I like James. You're right. And I agree with you, Tyrone. Like, I'm glad he asked the hard questions. I'm glad, because at the end of the day, like, you about to be like my kid's stepdad. Like, I'm not playing with you. You know what I'm saying? So,
James did his job. Yeah, James did his job. Andre did not do his job.
Yeah. And him, you know, mentioning Forbes, and I was on Forbes, and it's some things about me that can put me, if I say that, well, you don't know this about me and you don't know that about me, and I got this and I got that. But at the end of the day, just like he says, like, I get what he was saying about I could be with anybody, whatever the case, but that don't have, you being on Forbes don't have nothing to do with how you gonna take care of my son. You know what I'm saying? So like, I get it. But anyway, moving forward.
I'm gonna start doing that. I was on Ready to Love.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Like when if you get your daughter 10 toys, are you gonna get my son 10 toys? You know, I'm sorry, guys. I'm being
No, we know. Never mind.
We can't hear you.
Eating on set.
We can't hear you.
Dang it. Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Sorry. Jeffrey meets with Blue and Mark Anthony to explain to them, this was a really good episode, to explain to them why she was not and she is not bringing her exes that she doesn't have. Blue says that he doesn't know if she's pretty much painting a picture or it's just an excuse. Mark Anthony appreciates her explanation. Jeffrey says that she still feels a strong connection with Mark Anthony after that talk, but with Blue, he was pretty much just stagnant and he didn't present himself well in that situation. Blue says that he has a better understanding. And Jeffrey asked him, do you promise? She's like, how do you feel, Blue? He's like, well, I have a better understanding. Jeffrey's like, do you promise? He's like, well, I can't promise nothing yet. I'm just letting you know. I ain't promising. Yeah. So that was his attitude towards it. Mark Anthony seems like he was just trying to definitely make sure he gets that vote so he can make it to the end. And Blue just was looking at her sideways like, what's wrong with you? That's what I got from that scene. So, J-Dub, you want to go?
Why not get me out the way?
You like to?
Yeah,
go
with
first.
Jeffrey, it just came more diversion, deflection, delusion. The baby voice is kind of wearing off at this point. Like I said, Blue could peep her game like she's just doing it for the numbers or what have you. And that again, that meeting was very awkward to me. It's still a one-sided meeting. Not that we need the background of of everything that she went through in the past about being abandoned and all of that. However, we did need an ex to bring some type of perspective of how she operates in relationships, or just to give us some type of context of how she can be in relationships. We didn't get that. We just got her story of being a victim and being abandoned, and it was just too one side. It's like someone who just moves to another state and now they just rewrite their own story, and we have nothing to go on but their words. So at this point, I'm kind of seeing Jeffrey in a way different light. So that's about all for me.
So let me jump in there. I am upset with the fact that, OWN should have pressed the issue of, go bring somebody up or whatever. They did make an exception, which will come out later as to why they made that, they allowed her to do that. But I think that the date in itself should not have even taken place. I mean, she should have just had met with them and said, look, guys, you know what? Ain't nobody showing up for me, and here's why. Let's go. Because realistically, like they talk on their own. They do what they do. That was all theatrics to make the story make sense. End of the day, like I said, Jeffrey and Blake they are two of my favorite people. I like them both separately, but I like them both. And I'm not being partial to Jeffrey. Like I said, end of the day, I feel like, she has the right to not do that. And one of the things I will applaud her for is this, and they tell you this, and everybody on this panel, with the exception of J-Dub, knows this. They say, if you're not comfortable with doing something, you don't have to do it. You can tell the producers you're not doing it. And if she wasn't comfortable for whatever the reason was, and she exercised the right and didn't, go out on a limb and say, well, I'll just bring anybody here for your purposes, right? And she stood by herself. I respect that. But I do wish that, OWN would have, or Tommy would have, kind of, trumped it up a little bit. But like I said, that's going to come out later, I believe. I'm done.
Stacy?
Baby, okay, so the one thing we got out of Blue this entire season was in this moment. And that was the fact that he does have common sense. because he was looking at her crazy like, I don't know if she's playing with us or if this is another red flag. So clearly she is dropping some red flags along the way to some of the guys. We saw it with Blake, not to mention his name because he is also a red flag himself. And in that, I will say game recognized game. Let's just say that. Let's just say game recognized game. And I had all, I mean, we talked about at the beginning of the show. I had all kind of problems with her not bringing somebody, and then the excuse is whack not to find somebody, anybody. Just Bueller, like somebody, please. We know what this show is. We've been here, done that. And Paul, you talking about if production tells us we're not comfortable with something, but that's like with something in the moment, not something that's like a foundation for the entire show.
No, but no, they said, and trust me, I exercised that right a lot, and they said,
that was in the moment. But if you had to bring a friend,
listen, but no, I'm telling you, because before we even got the party started, they asked me to do certain things, and I was like, I'm not doing that. Period. It's like, but you have to. I said, well, then I can leave. And they were like, well, just do this then. See what I'm saying?
Did you bring somebody on your? Did you have a friends and family ex? Did you have one of those with you?
Yeah,
did you bring somebody?
Not the friends and family, but
which one did you
have?
I
didn't have. I had the friend and family.
Did you bring a friend?
I brought a friend and family, yeah.
Period.
But what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is this: if they would have been like, yeah, we need you to pull up one of your exes. I mean, I probably could have did that, pulled it off. But my thing is this here: I don't even want to give none of my exes that platform.
And that's fair. I wouldn't have brought my ex-husband, but I know other people who have, for example, we just went at lengths discussing Cynthia's ex James. Cynthia felt like he had her best interest at heart. That's why she brought him, unless he bullied her into bringing him. But she felt like he had her best interest at heart. So she brought him. He asked questions, as Tyrone highlighted, that were important to be asked. Whether they got answered or not, it was important to lay the foundation, right? Jeffrey did not do that with anybody. Hell, Mercedes brought Psycho to match her psycho in her. Like we have seen it all on this episode, and still we're falling flat with Jeffrey. Yet another non-explanation, non-anything. And like J-Dub said, and I hate to say it, I'm a pass because I need to think of a way to say it that's politically correct. I defer to Ty.
Stacey, we need this.
I mean, I think it was just some filler. It makes me think if this is the first time that they're hearing about Jeffrey's ex, then how serious were they about her for them to not even question, so what's up with your ex, or what was it like in a past relationship or something. So I feel like this date could have been a text, could have been an email. Feels like they was just struggling to make it to the next episode by getting this footage. I also feel like, Blue can see the writing on the wall. You know what I mean? They try to make it a competition. I feel like, he's out. He knows he's out. All of his connections is kissing other people. You know what I mean? So he can't focus. There's no one for him to focus on. And it just seems like he's just a guy that isn't allowed to self-eliminate right now. And that's just what is given to me.
And yeah, can I say something about Blue too?
Yes.
I'll say this, and No disrespect to my man Blue at all. You know, he's a part of the family. I just feel like Blue wasn't reality TV material. Now, I'm not saying obviously that he's, you know, not a good person or anything like that. I'm just saying you never heard him. He's always chill. They always showed him in the back. He wasn't rah rah. He was super mellow, just in the cut. So obviously we knew, and I mean, if you see his personality, he's super laid back, super chill. That's who he is. We know that even, you know, if he had connections, and he may have had more than just what we saw, they were going to get rid of him because he's not reality television ish, so to speak.
Yeah, I think his connection got voted off last week, if you ask me.
Well, he had Jeffrey too.
Yeah, I think Jeffrey kind of like strong on that, you know. But I think I saw something between him and Jonique. You know, I don't think that was his doing to go after Jeffrey like that at that date. You know, or else he would have done it. You know.
Well, who else did he have as a connection prior to Jonique?
I don't know, but I could see him in Jonique. But once Jonique left, what else is there for Blue?
But he had the ladies in the beginning.
I think Marcia could have. I saw something with him and Marcia.
Well, I could see something with me and him, so you can let him know that I'm still single, and I think Blue is gonna be a great husband one day. Because I feel like Anthony is already taken, because I feel like he's with Cynthia, and Cynthia's my girl. So I'm not stepping on no toes. But since, you know what I'm saying, Blue is off the show, you know, because, you know, y'all heard what he said. He's like, I ain't giving none of these. He was like, I don't know. I ain't putting myself out there for a bunch of women that I ain't really feeling like that. And that's pretty much letting me know that they really ain't feeling me. He said, but when I do find the one, you could best believe she gonna get it on. Well, honey, baby, you found her. I'm right here. Come and holler, come on, slide in my DM, Blue. I could be your queen. Anyway, are we finished with this scene? Can we move forward?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay.
There wasn't a whole lot there.
I could be your green light. Okay. Let me stop being so silly. Marcia is meeting with her ex Mark, and he is meeting Blue and Tony. Blue tells Mark that he has two connections, and they are yeah. And that they are both number twos. Because Tony like, well, but wait a minute. He like, this far in the process, like, you should know. He was like, you know, no disrespect. He like, but you should know who your strongest connections are. He was like, ain't nobody gonna push me. Let me know that I got to feel a type of way. I do. I got two twos, and they both number two, and I don't know yet. You know what I'm saying? So after meeting with Mark, Mark says that Blue, or after the meeting, Mark tells Marcia that Blue is coy and Tony is direct and speaks his mind, but later on he feels like he won't take the other person's feelings into consideration, like when they're having like a heated argument, let's just say. And when it's time for him to, you know, pretty much speak his mind, yeah, like he gonna be like, no, you, yeah. Marcia says that she wishes she could take both of them and smash them together. So have y'all ever felt like that? That it was two people that you was interested in, and you wish you could take this person, and then you wish you could take that person and put them together to make that one person? Have y'all ever felt like that about somebody?
No comment. I
always feel that way.
What happened? You said you never felt like that?
Publicly,
I feel like that all the time.
You all the time?
Publicly, I'll just say I was 100% happy with everybody I was with.
Great answer, Ty. Great answer.
And you know what, J-Dub? I forgot to put it on the screen and to ask. I think I did put it on the screen. I think somebody asked you some about dating. Did you ever answer
They
them?
did? Oh, I
Yeah,
don't
it was in
know.
the very beginning. All I done got salsa all on my. No, did you I forgot what they said. They said they asked you something about who are you dating or something like that. You got to tell them, J-Dub. You got to tell them.
Yeah, tell them. Oh, yeah. Your boy J Dub is definitely off the market because if I wasn't, I'd be in these YouTube streets for real.
Right.
I'm taken.
Well,
I'm married.
J-Dub, I never asked. You have kids?
I do. I do.
Okay.
I have a grown kid and I have a 12-year-old.
oh, okay. That's what's
Mhm.
up, man. Congratulations on that, brother.
Congrats.
You
You
look
halfway through the
so
battle.
Yeah,
young.
I was gifted a son.
Any girl? Any girl?
Thank you, everybody,
Yeah.
J-Dub. We glad you. Clank, clank.
Oh my
Okay.
God. Sometimes
Right.
we can be so damn petty.
What
Okay.
happened?
J-Dub, let us know when you're gifted another child if you get one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if I'm gifted.
I don't ever want that gift.
I mean, since people just giving gifts and stuff,
I know. Dang, Theo,
I was
you
getting ready to say.
have some daughters. What is you talking about?
I was getting ready to say,
What's
J-Dub, just have a party and we'll just all bring gifts. How about that?
Nah,
But
I
Theo,
don't
like
want.
we ain't bringing them kind of gifts.
Oh,
Oh, we innocent. We innocent. We don't bring them kind of gifts.
like, what in the world? That is the
Yeah.
most.
We don't. Stacey and Sabrina are some innocents. We don't do that.
Wow.
You just bring practice gifts, like not real ones. So I got you.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Mm. Yes. Anywho. All right.
Right.
Let's move forward. Oh my God. All right.
Andre.
So yeah.
What?
Oh, my
Say it
bad.
again.
Nothing. I ain't saying nothing. I was just going in the order of how I wrote stuff. So I don't know if I'm in
Wait,
the right
who
order.
was we talking? Who were we talking about?
We own to Sabrina's itinerary.
We talking about Marcia and her ex, which is Mark, meeting Blue and Tony.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I'm still wondering how Blue is entertaining Marcia because when they had their one-on-one date, she told him pretty much his kids was baggage. Yeah, she don't want a man with kids. So how can we move forward after that? I don't get it.
Facts.
yeah.
Sometimes I be forgetting stuff that happens so early in the episodes until someone says it, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah," and it completely made me think differently about the person all over again. Real quick, we got 231 people in the chat and also watching. Shout out to you guys. Without you, there is no us. I only got 110 thumbs up. Could I get a thumbs up real quick before we move on to this next section? I would greatly appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up. And on the words of Really Be TV, it is free 99. And she says, hi, everybody. She cannot be here with us tonight, but I'm sure she is in spirit with us in the comment section. Okay. So definitely hit that thumbs up. What was I getting ready to say? Oh, was somebody else getting ready to say something?
I think I was gonna say.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tyrone. Please.
No, I was gonna say I think at this point, amongst the cast, they all talk. They all have an idea who's showing up for the friends dates. So amongst the cast, at this point, it's pretty much settled already. So it's hard for some people, like Blue said, he got 2 number 2s. He really do got 2 number 2s, and he's probably in second place for both of his people. He's probably calling himself the number 2 because he knows what it is at this point. And I just feel like, it's hard for him to try to sit through and get through the date and act like you like somebody. It's not like he could do what Anthony did and be like, girl, let's just dance, to pass the time.
I'm gonna be Ty on this one. Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'm gonna be Ty. I'm gonna turn into Ty. Well, you know, when I was listening to Blue, I didn't take it that way. What I actually saw was that
Oh Lord.
when Blue said number two, it was taken out of context. We didn't get all the backstory. Now, what we're doing here, number two is meaning that he wanted to say it in a nicer manner. He didn't want to hurt the ladies' feelings about rating them. So he said, like, you're in the top two. So I don't know if you're number one or two, but you're one out of two.
Well,
I'm not
BPO also and say, well, production said you don't necessarily have to have a number one, so you can just have some twos.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I really don't like the rating thing. So I think he did the right thing.
Yeah, I think the rating situation is BS anyway. But what I'm concerned about in this one is this here. She brought an ex, right? And from the exes that I saw in most of the past dates, they had some sort of factor that,
like wow factor?
No, they had not wow factor. They had some sort of factor that reminded you of the current dates that they're on now. And so in this particular one, I'm like, okay, well, is he a rental? Is he a rental, or is he the real deal? Because he doesn't have any type of the qualities that either of these gentlemen have, right? So can we show her ex?
Because he's a mix of both of them.
He's no conglomerate. Let me see. Nah. There's nothing, nah. Not even close. Okay. Moving on from that. I thought that I don't know. I feel like this date right here was when we're talking about Tony, this was like a Tony opportunity to, show his smooth, razzle dazzle, type of flow. Like, yeah, I'm here for the party type of thing. And then Blue, as checked out as he was, he showed them, yeah, you know what? I don't really care who you pick because I could be satisfied with or without you. It don't matter to me. But I think that Tony put his best foot forward because he wanted to stay in the game. Tony needs to be out here. He's trying to be in the RTL streets with these chicks. And I think at this point he has the most connections. I think Tony has a connection with everybody but Jeffrey. So I didn't get a whole lot other than that.
I think it's going to be interesting. It's almost like Tony's on his best behavior because remember Morgan told him to tighten up, but Morgan
ain't going nowhere.
Morgan and Marcia seem to be friends, right? And Tony's kissing on both of them, so I'm interested to see what
Tony did a lot more than kissed on both of them. Tony kissed. I believe that this is my beliefs, not matter of fact. Wink, wink. Anyway, I believe that Tony has explored more than what we saw when it comes to Morgan.
Oh, they definitely smashed.
Oh my God. Did I miss something?
Absolutely, they did.
I mean, if I was
gonna act like that unless what?
I was a betting man.
Yeah. What I say, Tony?
Y'all know I'm always keep it. Y'all know I'm a say it. You know what I'm saying?
I got to give it to him. If Tony definitely smashed, you know what I mean? I got to throw one up for him. Here it go.
What?
Okay, Tony.
He's trying to take your job.
Oh my God. No, absolutely. I mean, yes, allegedly. Sorry, guys. Allegedly.
Really? Because oh, I'm sorry, Sabrina.
No, go ahead.
Because like Tony had me looking at him sideways this episode too. Like y'all ringing all these jingle bells for him, and I'm like, like no, like as soon as he walked up on his first day, he was like, oh, this dude, this what she was doing. He's short. Like before he can even, the other dude can open his mouth, he was like with some BS. Like I was like, who is this Tony right now?
But
Like,
Tony does that to everybody. But my thing is when Morgan, when she made that comment, I don't remember exactly what it was. Don't quote me. But when she was, this is how you know when a man has smashed. When a woman say, you better get some act right.
You
To
already know.
To a random
that means you ain't getting the same thing no more.
Yeah, Tony did some push-ups on that.
Yeah. She said, get it together. And he said, noted. Right?
Right.
Only people who say noted.
Yeah.
Come on.
And you know what?
Get it
That's
together.
probably why Tony, he's just relaxed now. He's like, yeah, she'll be back home.
She come to daddy.
Yeah.
I can't stand y'all.
Yeah, Tony got hollowed out. He's cool.
Oh wait, that's the other phrase, huh? I can't stand you. I hate you. That's another smash lingo, huh?
Yeah, or I'm gonna fight you.
Ooh, you make me. I'm gonna fight you.
Mm-hmm.
That's that toxic love language. I don't speak that stuff.
You make me sick.
I don't see. I get it. I don't
speak smash.
say those kind of things.
I don't speak smashed.
Right.
Yeah. I don't either. I get it. I don't either. I be too googly eyed, too giddy, and be saying like cute little things. Like,
listen, all I want to know from Tony is, was it week 2, 3, or 4? Which week?
Child, probably at the mansion party.
Yeah, just like any other cast, and they might have,
It
might have happened a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I just wasn't doing all this. Like, what?
I wasn't doing it either. What? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't play like that. I don't know. I'm on just a whole, I don't know. Like I really do try to be in my feminine ways, but, and I just feel like that kind of stuff is just not feminine. Like when I'm like with my guy, like I'm just very, very feminine. I'm very submissive. And I'm not going to be like, you better get some act right. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe if it was like my side piece and he just don't mean nothing anyway. He just I
wouldn't even talk to my side piece like that. Like he already knows.
How would you talk to your side piece?
What's that other?
Oh, we're just gonna J-Dub, Tyrone, and we're just gonna leave out real quick.
This is the ultimate side piece language. What's understood don't need to be explained.
Right.
I never said I was smashing this weekend. When did I say I was smashing this weekend? I'm not smashing anything but that mattress and pillow upstairs. And I haven't smashed anything but that in a while. So I definitely didn't say that.
I'm going to tell you, I smashed some of these golden potatoes, like the butter potatoes. They were so good. You put a little rose.
Did you add sour cream?
Pepper and
Stacy, did you do a dollop?
Yes. And guess what I did? I put a dollop of daisy, and on my kisses, I put the.
You gotta get focused.
I'm sorry, but you know I don't speak the smash language. So.
Yeah, but definitely hit that smash like button if you have not hit the thumbs up. We
not another round.
We have 237 people watching, and we only have 129 thumbs up. If you are enjoying the show, definitely hit the thumbs up button. If you have not subscribed, we would love for you to join the Seoul Mate community. Okay, so it is not even past 12 o'clock, so we definitely have to change the subject and get back on So
let's go.
anything, so Marcia, and I feel like after this, like it just kind of gets, my notes get real scarce. So anything else about Marcia, her ex Mark with Blue and Tony?
Nah.
Yeah, okay. So Mercedes is meeting with her ex Armand, and they're meeting with Mark Anthony and Anthony. Armand says that he doesn't see Mark Anthony as being husband material, and he's pretty much getting very swift kind of words vibes from him. With Anthony, he says that he is ready for life, honey. That's the quote of 2023. I am ready for life. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. He says that he is in tune with exactly who he is, and he has a real confidence coming out about himself. He says that Mark Anthony was forcing his confidence.
Listen, Mark Anthony, yeah, he's absolutely right. But I don't blame Mark Anthony, because at the end of the day, you know, I don't feel like I'm not going to say ready for love, but I don't feel like he's taking this journey that serious, like where he's trying to really say, okay, I really want to date you when this is over. He's like, yo, I want to date you on the show. And then when the show's over, I'm going to just do what I do. And you could be a part of that, which I respect it. He doesn't seem like he's the type of guy that's ready to, commit all like that. But he probably, cool in the fan, drink brews with, hang out with, chill, I mean, you feel me? So I look at it like this here, if like Mark Anthony, if you out there, bro, we can go get brews. You pull them, I tool them, or whatever you want to do. No, but yeah, I don't think he's up for it. I don't think he's up for it on this one.
J-Dub.
Out of this group meeting, I think this was the most normal one out of all of them. I thought that Mercedes X was like on point. However, I think Mark Anthony and Mercedes would actually make a good couple, because I don't really believe that either wants something serious at all. So yeah, Anthony may be ready for life and all that. I don't know. Sometimes it comes off like he knows how to speak politically correct or something. I'm not sure, but I'd rather see Mercedes and Mark Anthony together. I'm done.
Mercedes and Mark Anthony?
Yeah, I agree too.
Yeah.
The flight attendant and the pilot.
Oh yeah. That makes
Neither
sense.
one of them got kids. It just makes more sense than Jeffrey and Mark Anthony. Like,
right.
what? It's just kind of weird.
Yeah, he going FHLU.
SH.
No, F her life up.
Wait, what life? What?
Like Kanye had got that song, Mess My Life Up. He's gonna F her life up. Mark Anthony, if he came on the scene.
Who? Mercedes?
No. Jeffrey. Him and Jeffrey. He would mess, he would just take her down a dark path after life.
Why do you think she the one that will be taken down instead of her taking somebody else down?
Because
what
here's
is
the
it
thing
about Jeffrey? Because like, okay, I'm sorry, but maybe I'm missing something. So what is it about her that makes you like lean towards like the heavy on the empathy side for her? Like, am I missing something?
I could tell you.
Maybe I missed a part of the show. I know I missed like maybe an episode or two. So maybe I'm missing something.
No, it's not that. Here's where my empathy comes from. This is a woman that has children, that had children very, very young, right? So there's some.
So how young is very young to you?
Young in her 20s. Maybe, she said she was with her ex or whatever for, I don't know, 12 years or something. So I'm assuming that This was either like late teens, early 20s that she had kids, right? And so when I look at myself as a man at 20 something years old, I feel like, there's a lot of stuff that has to be learned. And I feel like, her trying to raise children and things like that forced her to grow differently, right? Which was like a force feeding of life. And so when you have people that's learning quickly on the fly on how to deal with situations, sometimes they miss things and it's not their fault. It's just the fact that they were trying to take on adult responsibilities when they weren't mature. And so when you see that, and then you see that followed by patterns or a pattern of wrong decisions, right? Then you start to say, okay, there's something here that's been broken, and maybe she either had an opportunity to fix it or never had an opportunity to fix it, or maybe she doesn't know what she needs to fix, or maybe she's just a something in the works. But what I'm saying is I won't look at her and just start tearing her apart because of what we see on the show. There's things that, there's real life attributes about this woman that's probably hindering her from growing in the way that we would like to have seen her on the show. And so for that, I have empathy.
So real quick, can we talk about this comment that PO just made that completely flew over my head? Kermitra, I'm sorry, lady, says, hell no, y'all not about to ignore this. PO just said, Mark Anthony, you pull him, I tool him. Says, I'm about to call the police. Laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji. You pull them, I tool them. That was good. I like that.
Because I totally missed him saying that. I tooling him, Paul. What exactly do you mean? I'm not too hip on lingo. On Snapchat, on lingo.
Giving them the tools of the life tools, life skills, and yeah.
What kind of tool are you using, PO?
Just mental tools, brain power.
I was gonna ask you Flat or Phillips. I don't know. Okay, well, anyway, moving forward. Okay. We talking about Mark Anthony, Mercedes, Anthony and her ex Armand. Tyrone, I'm sorry.
Man, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so I feel like there's guys on every cast that are there, to be sincere, and guys that are there to just bag. They brought him on as the ringer. He's doing his job. It seems like it's called the cheerleader effect. Is real with him, where he gonna go in there and bag, the best looking one available, no matter what they do, no matter what they tell him. 3 kids, 2 kids, 1 kid, don't even matter to him. But I think this is also a teachable moment, for the ladies. You know what I mean? Listen to the guys. The guys know guys. Guys know guys, and we have an opportunity to tell you what we really feel about a guy is gonna most likely be the truth. You know what I mean? So everything that he's saying about Anthony is totally true. I think he is ready for life, just like the guy said. And I think y'all should really get some guy friends and listen to him, and it can really save you for some terrible relationships.
Right. It's either what Ty said, or if you really want some real life skills, no, and I'm dead serious. Talk to me, and I will tell you exactly what the hell to stay away from. 100%.
J-Dub, what you got?
Oh, I'm pretty much past this one because we on the same thing with Mercedes and all that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Stacy?
Yeah.
I don't even care.
Oh. Okay.
I mean,
I mean, I get it.
No. It's not about Mercedes them at all. I'm still stuck on Paul's schooling and tooling or whatever, fooling and I don't know.
I did not say that. I did not say that. You got to rewind the track back.
I'm just. But really, on this part, I really didn't make any notes in real life.
Yeah. I didn't get much from actually the next couple of scenes. Like I said, my notes get very, like, it was to the point where I was kind of struggling trying to take notes. Because, I just wasn't, like, even Blake and Sue-Ann, and, okay, I think they're next. Let's just move forward.
Yeah.
Sue-Ann is meeting her ex, Paul, with Blake and Anthony. Paul says he likes both men, but is leaning more towards Anthony. He says that Blake reminds him of himself 20 years ago. He feels that he isn't looking for what she's looking for. Sue-Ann says that she's going to take what Paul says. She takes what Paul, I can't read tonight. Paul says to heart, and she wants to make sure that her and Blake are on the same page. Oh, yeah. And then we go to Andre and Jeffrey and home cooked meal. So we are Blake, Paul, and Sue-Ann.
I didn't really get a whole lot from that one.
Me neither.
It was, Blake was being Blake. And Andre keeps coming in. He keeps coming up. Like he's showing up and, he's making some sort of impression. But I will say this. I don't know, who this guy is or whatever. I don't know his background or whatever. But I don't know. I guess in the 20, 30-minute conversation, if you're saying that somebody reminds you of who you was 20 years ago, I didn't really get a whole lot of content to lead up to that. So I think that might have been a fail on production. But, I still feel like Sue-Ann is going to kind of lean towards, her emotion. That's what women do. This guy doesn't know her like how Blake, or this guy doesn't know him like how Sue-Ann knows him. So that's it.
J-Dub.
Why am I still looking at Blake? But for this scene, I don't have much context on this. But what I did learn, I learned something about Ty because it makes more sense. He advocates for Blake and he likes Blake because he doesn't see that a problem with the way Blake conducts himself. Because time and time again, Blake will get into a conversation and he'll abruptly interrupt you, or he gives off this negative energy, and more so about well, I need more context, or if you're giving me a general question, all I can give you is a general answer. And just listening from Ty, going from the James date with Cynthia, it made me realize, some people receive information differently, because like Blake is off-putting. Again, some people enjoy conversations like that, or they don't mind it, or it doesn't affect them in any kind of way. And again, just flat out, Blake is not a good guy. And like I said, he's done it time and time again. But again, people receive information differently. Some people receive disrespect. Some people receive things as this is just the way they are. So I'm gonna let P.O.
You know what though, J-Dub? Here's what I'll say is this. Blake is calculated, right? And Blake is very, very aware that people are listening to what he's saying. So he doesn't come off the top. I've never heard him come off. Anytime he speaks, he thinks, right? He thinks about the words that comes out of his mouth, which is a great talent because a lot of people don't have the ability to do that. So when Blake was asked these questions, Blake said, clarify so that I can give you the direct answer that you're looking for. And I'm not going to ramble off something so that you can unravel me and have me go down this rabbit hole with you, right? And so,
Well, P.O.,
but
I need you to, I need you not do that and just wrap it up and put into more plainer context. Well, really, that's not how I talk to you, but that's how Blake will come off to you. That's
right, right,
off-putting. That's not how you speak to people or address people because, I have nothing but respect for you in real life, but that's
right, no
what
doubt.
Blake does. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
that's what
no,
he does. And as I said, some people can enjoy that or accept that. Ugh,
and I
no.
can understand that. I'm just saying though, from my observation of Blake, I think that he's very, very calculated in what he says, and his reactions are very, very timed. Blake is not the type of person that is going to allow somebody to corner him with their words. He's going to sit there, pause, take it in, and then process that information and then give you the best response that anybody could give you in that situation. And so when people think that he's being narcissistic or controlling or, whatever, it's just the fact that he makes sure that he's not going to talk or listen or have you, he's not going to speak in a way that is not intelligent, is what I'm saying.
Stacey B.
Well, what I learned about Sue-Ann is that maybe, I don't know, is she a criminal? Yeah. So we saw she's a really good attorney. We've seen that. So I just think that what I get from that is that, like, with these men, she extend a little extra grace and empathy, and we can tell the way that guy, the way that she like really listens to the advice and advisement of the guys, and I guess that's the way to put it, the PC way to put it. I think Blake, while I do not think that he's a narcissist, and I hate that a lot of people overuse this word, I think that he's very arrogant, and that's sexy sometimes, but in this case, it's not. I think Blake is the kind of guy who likes to be an agitator to get you out of your character. Like, he knows the exact right responses, right things to do to push your buttons and to make you look crazy and to make himself like he's sitting here looking like he ain't do nothing and he ain't say anything. But the whole time, his little quip and comments have been totally pushing your buttons until you have no other thing to do, but you're like backed up into a corner. So, like, that's my feeling with Blake.
May I ask you a question though? Have you ever heard him? Have you ever heard his voice change? Have you ever heard him get
I don't
aggressive,
need,
or have you?
hey,
I'm just.
listen,
This is a question. I'm just
I never,
asking.
listen, I never said that was part of it. You don't need a
No,
vocal.
no, I'm asking you because I'm being serious when I'm asking
Okay.
that question because
Okay, people who play like mind games with people may not raise or lower their voice. It's more of like the context of what they say and how they say it. You can be an asshole in a total monotone voice, or you can be
mhm,
a jerk without ever touching anybody. Like, I'm
mhm.
not one of those people that have kicked Blake to the curb, but it's been a matter of like, I can't put my finger on it, what annoys everyone else about him. But as I'm looking at him and how he responds and the very like thoughtful and intentional things that he say, he knows exactly how to push your buttons without looking like the aggressor and without looking like the bully. And you know what?
Okay.
That is truly an art form.
Well, so let me just say one thing, and I know we already recapped this, but I'll say this: when he was on that date with Morgan, he asked her, or he told her, what is it that, what have I done to you? Or, what did I say? Or I apologize to you for how I made you feel, right? Owning and things like that. And then said, I would like for you to tell me what it is that I've done or whatever, whatever. right? So people are looking at that and they're saying, he's wrong for being that way. Well, how else do you want this man to be?
Well,
What
let's
can he? Because the thing is that we're so not used to people, especially men, communicating on that high level that when we hear that, there's something wrong. There's
well,
something
okay.
wrong with that man.
Your example was the date with Morgan. My example is the date with Joni. He didn't say anything aggressive or loud or like noticeably crazy. But the way that he spoke to her and the way that he was like passively dismissive of her, that would have triggered a lot of women
He wasn't interested.
being out of character, right?
He wasn't interested.
I think
That's how somebody that's not interested in you talks to you, or that's how somebody that's not interested in you would treat you on a date.
So, P.O., let's go back to a lot of where your arguments are based. Some of these dates we have no business on. It's not interests of our own, rather, a setup like, hey, let's see how these two perform in a date together, right? So we
Right.
know we get called onto these a lot. And how did he maximize his appearance here? How did he maximize the opportunity with Jonique here? He was rude and dismissive.
I don't think he was rude.
And provocative.
I think that what he saw was, oh man, they put me on a date with this girl. I ain't feeling her, and I'm not even gonna give her that energy. Like it could be something here. I already know where my eyes is at. It's on the prize,
But the
and
arrogance,
I don't care.
The arrogance is that him presuming that Jonique was interested in him when we know that it was a setup. That is the arrogance. The
I
fact that
think he
he
wasn't.
into her, the courtesy of just small talk and just cordiality is ridiculous.
I don't think it was that he thought Jonique would be interested in him or any of that. I think that he was checked out because he wasn't interested in the date. And he probably looked at, man, I could have been, away across town. Instead, I had to run red lights to get here on time. And you brought me here for this. And y'all know I'm not interested. You ain't getting nothing out of me.
He was rude to Jonique. He was rude to her.
He didn't say anything that was rude. I didn't hear him say anything rude. What did he say that was rude?
He was very dismissive of her, and he was very rude to her.
But what did he say, or what action did he do that said that he was rude? Everything I saw said, I'm not interested in you. It didn't say, I'm trying to be rude, or I'm trying to belittle you, or I'm trying to disrespect you, or take you down, or ruin your day. It was just like, look, I'm not here for it.
He was very short. He wouldn't answer the questions she was asking him. He treated her like she was shit. Let's start there. That's rude as hell. Had every opportunity. He was at the bottom. He said in this episode, I've lived at the bottom. He was at the very bottom. He could have used this as an opportunity to make himself more personable, to make the audience, to make Jonique go back to the ladies' lounge and make it seem like there was something in this shell of emptiness, of nothingness that we are calling Blake. Let's start there.
Okay.
There's nothing there. There's no woman on this show for him. He's not attracted to anyone. He's not interested to anyone. And he is not interested or likes or attracted to Sue Ann, but he does not treat her with the disrespect and dismissal that he treated Jonique. So what's the damn difference?
Okay, so let me just say this.
And don't gaslight us like Blake is gaslighting everybody on this show.
No, I'm not gaslighting, but let me
Too late.
just say this. Let me say this. If Blake acts like he's interested in Jonique, people are going to say he's fake because he's not, and they know that he's only going to be interested in Sue Ann, right? And if he's sitting here playing the game, but time out. If he's sitting there,
oh, never mind. Oh, so that's how you're relating to him. Okay, now I see the correlation.
No, there's no correlation.
You made it make sense to me.
Because I said no, but because for me it was totally different because I said that I voiced the fact that I don't know why I'm here. with X, Y, and Z. Like, this is not
You're
my
rude
thing.
either, PO, and you're
No,
the
I
same.
wasn't, but that's not my style of communication. Some people are more direct in terms of saying, I don't want this. I feel like my time is wasted and disrespected, therefore you're not getting nothing out of me. That's all. I don't think that, to be honest, I don't think that he had anything against Jonique or any of the ladies personally. I think that his time is probably more valued, and he, thought like, this is a waste of my time, and I'm not putting any energy into this. And hopefully, we'll be able to get home and get out of here as soon as possible when they realize that.
All
That's
right,
what I think.
y'all got 15 more seconds on it before we go to
I'm done.
We're gonna go to J Dub because he had his hand up.
Yeah,
Oh.
I gotta just jump in there because I'm gonna play Paul this time, brother. We just gotta bottom line this, because you're not interested in someone doesn't give you the right to treat them any kind of way. It's okay not
That's
to
true.
connect but to dismiss them, to treat them rudely, is never okay. We all have our opinions, but that's not okay in any shape, fashion, or form. And not only that, Jonique felt that because she expressed it in her confessional that Blake made her feel that way. And I mean, a lot of people could see that. And like I said, that isn't the first time because he does that often to say, well, just, I mean, go deeper in the context because, I want to, like, or cut you off. People feel like, hey, are you listening to me, or are you trying to hear me, or are you trying to play with me? And that's what happened. So,
But
okay, he don't like her. That's cool. Because
so
I
let
didn't
me ask
like that,
you.
she go to the house and turn up on the weekend. It sounded like she was 22 years old. I got that part, but you still have
Right.
to treat her with respect, whether you
One
like her or
question
not.
for you. One
Okay.
follow-up question for you. Do you
Yes,
think
sir.
that do you think that he's doing this type of stuff on purpose, or do you think that that's just his natural personality when he's not interested in people? That's how he acts.
Oh, well, I don't know how he acts when he's not interested, but whatever it is, it's off-putting. It makes people feel negatively. So that's an issue because when you're talking about this is just who I am or how I am, but it hurts, makes people feel uncomfortable. That's not cool. That's not okay. Ever.
But you know what? I'm just saying it's like generally speaking. Like I hate that. I dislike when we always make excuses for our friends or our family or people like, oh, that's just how they are, just to excuse their bad or rude behavior. Like right here is an opportunity, Paul, for you to say for you to be honest and be like, yeah, that like that was a little harsh. He could have dealt with it better. But the fact that he is dry or he's not interested in anyone, he don't like to waste his time that he's getting paid for. That doesn't give him an excuse to be rude.
Paid for. You're right. You lost me at the paid for part. But I'll just say this. For me, if it was me, I probably would have handled that maybe the same way, probably not as rigid, but I wouldn't have been given no vibes like I'm here for the party and we just gonna be doing this all night.
Tyrone, you were gonna say something.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
just wanted to make sure that everybody was done. I didn't want you to get misconstrued.
You've been waiting patiently.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Come back,
I'm waiting
come
on you.
back, J-Dub. I want to make sure it wasn't getting misconstrued as disrespect. So I was making sure everybody was done.
You got the floor.
No, I think admittedly, I'm a neurodivergent. Blake's probably a neurodivergent as well. I feel like all the women checked out on Blake on day one when he made the 87% sure that he don't want kids comments. He got kids in his 20s, so 90% of the women there is not a match for him, and I feel like he struggles. Yes, it comes off as rude. Yes, can he do better? Yes. And I was actually going to go in on Blake for this date because the dude asked him a simple question. how did your last relationship end? And then, you know, he wanted to ask a follow-up question. And to me, when you're asking a follow-up question, is because you want to make sure you don't lie about something, right? You just want to answer what the question is, you know, and as long as I'm answering what you asked me, I technically didn't lie to you, you know, and I just feel like he just doesn't want to put in extra information. I think he doesn't have a really good balance of, you know, being attracted to someone and then knowing that it's not there. You know, like they get on him every single week for manipulating the women, you know, playing with their emotions. You know what I mean? And what was the most recent comment about manipulating love for likes or whatever that came up? And I just feel like there's the situation where, and they're all having the same conversation where they're like, hey, nourish your connections, but don't do too much. You know what I mean? And even from the beginning, I've said I feel like Blake is saying things and meaning things, and the women are accepting it as something else. Like he needs to stay on the show, you know, so he's got to show some interest. You know, he's still there. So it just means that, you know, there was one dude that was slightly worse than him, you know, and they're just all at this point to where they know what it is right now. So watching these dates where they have 2 and 3 people on the friends date, like it's painful to watch. You know what I mean? Anthony
So
watched, huh? Go ahead.
so no, I just want to ask you, do you think that he wants to be on this show, Blake?
I think I think they're just at a point where Blake is bringing the attention. So they're not going to let him self-eliminate. I think if he could have, he would have. I think,
Right.
I
like I
think
said earlier, huh?
I agree with
Like
you, Tyrone. I think he's ready to go.
yeah, I think he,
I think that's why everything seems so rude and short and choppy. Like he's just trying to keep it matter of fact, but it's coming off the wrong way.
yeah, Blake is a detective. He assessed all of them, you know, even the ones who was willing to talk to him and hear him out, like Mercedes, at least, you know, he was willing to talk to them. I think he just struggles, especially now after hearing so many conflicting comments, because you got Sue Ann telling him, hey, the ladies are saying this about you, so be a little bit nicer. And then they got other comments saying that he's manipulating people's feelings. You know what I mean? And it all started with the whole Jeffrey thing. So even at the beginning, there was conflict. Like even with him maybe trying to end something, we gotta listen for what, 3, 4 episodes of him and Jeffrey going back and forth. So he's probably just fed up at this point. Like, y'all know who I like. I know who I like. Let's just get through the show. You know what I mean? You got me going on these dates. Y'all know what it is. You know, I'm trying my best not to be rude. But if I do smile in y'all face, y'all gonna say I'm trying to manipulate y'all.
And the award goes to being on the bottom the most time. It's only 12 episodes in this show, but he was on the bottom for 11. Blake.
7.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah. Every men's elimination, he's been there, right?
I mean, we haven't gotten there yet, but he was like, I mean, I already know that it's elimination time. I already know I'm on the bottom, but I'm confident. Yeah, Nikki, you've been on the bottom for like 12 times. Almost every episode, he is on the bottom for them to be on the bottom. It's the one time he was on the bottom.
And this is the painful part of the show where they could just let Blake and Jeffrey have their date and have that be a segment on the show.
Yeah, shout out to
Blake on there. That should have been a date. That should have been a date instead of us seeing Jeffrey talk to Blue and oh boy.
Did I say Blake and Jeffrey? I meant Blake and Sue Ann.
Yeah, you
I
said
feel
Jeffrey.
like no, but I feel like
Blake and, yeah.
I feel like Blake and Jeffrey should have had a date because they still haven't had a date to squash the beef.
Yeah, because Morgan sure did have a date with
Morgan, right.
to tell him he was cancer, child.
While we talking about advocates,
malignant cancer.
Oh God, malignant. Look at here. Anyway,
I just I don't play with the Lord to say stuff like that to people. I don't do that.
But he's the one that actually brought up the whole cancer thing.
Morgan
He
got too far. What did he say? How did he take it up?
Well, he said I think he said I want to kill something, before.
No, he was talking about the conversation he had with Jeffrey and how it was brought. He's like, why people keep talking about it? He's like, people keep bringing it up like it's cancer, like it just won't go away or something to that effect. And she was like, no, you're cancer or something like that.
I'm malignant.
It was something to that effect.
Yeah. He just can't win. You know how.
Oh, wait till y'all see this reunion, man. Man.
Okay. Anything more about Blake and the ex and Sue? All right. Andre prepares a home-cooked meal for Jeffrey at his home. They eat, they hug, they kiss. By the end of the date, she wants to know when they're getting married.
Right.
I told you.
She gonna get her a man, huh, Tyrone? She gonna get
Well,
her.
by the end of the day, she wasn't asking when they can get married. She was asking, she was like, well, I don't know about, like I still am so connected to this person, that person. She left the entire bottle, the entire little roll up of Ruby Woo, Fire and Ice on Andre's lips and still talking about other men in the next heartbeat. Like,
I mean, look at what Mark Anthony, he's running through him too. He's getting his kissing on. But I feel like in this episode right here, this was Andre trying to, be vulnerable and bring a little something extra special to this experience. One of the things that I didn't appreciate was when he was sitting down, spoon feeding Jeffrey, and he gave her some food with some smoke on it already and put it and airplaned it into her mouth. You know what I'm saying? And then to me, it's gross if somebody's feeding me and they're blowing on my food because it's like, okay, you might have kissed around. I don't want your DNA. Yeah, I don't want your DNA on my rice and whatever as it's going in my mouth.
But they just about to kiss.
It don't matter. She put her DNA on his mustache and his lip, and she was about to give him. She was about to gift him a baby too. Hell, it's on his lip.
It doesn't matter because.
Please find the picture, Sabrina. Please, I pray, Sabrina. I pray you have the picture of how thick that lipstick was on his lip.
No, I saw that.
And then he put his head down and it whispered, and she still didn't tell him he had the whole stick of Ruby Woo on his lip.
Listen here. You don't want people blowing on birthday cake and then you eating it. I mean, I'm not doing that, right? And there's no difference. Like if I took some food and spit on the food and then tried to feed it to you, you ain't gonna eat it that way. So I don't want nobody blowing their DNA on my spoon. I mean, I get it. He was trying to be sexy with it, but
you
at
do
the
that
end of the day,
like a 1-year-old.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You do that.
You blow on it like a 1-year-old, and then you airplane it in their mouth. You don't do that to a grown woman.
You blow on somebody's chest. You blow on the outside of that. Hell, you blow in the
I done done worse, man. Stop it.
Come on.
I ain't about to be blowing on nobody's food, and they damn sure ain't about to touch me with their feet. So let's talk about who we talking to.
You talking about? Are we talking about people like we dated or like we? You know what I mean? Like,
first off, she don't even know what it's like.
You're in the open market.
Last night.
I don't understand. Is this somebody that I'm chilling with? Like,
No, this is somebody you're on Ready to Love, and it's the 7th episode. You just said you don't like changing DNA.
I was about to say that's exactly what I was about to say.
I knew you was about to say.
I don't like bodily fluids too close to, because I don't know. I need results.
And then the E flat baby voice.
Yeah.
Hey, time out real quick. Sabrina, they want us to have a relationship advice panel on this show, a Q&A. They want me and Ty, man. They asking for it. We got to talk about this after the show. Go ahead.
Oh, right here. Let me see. Sabrina, can you have a show with the panel giving relationship? I actually talked about that on my live, saying that I was going to start doing relationship stuff. Would love to hear the opinions of the panel, especially Time PO. I mean, I can definitely set something up. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like sometimes when we're talking about these episodes and we're talking about some of these scenes, like it gets drawn out because of the views that we have about relationships and the things that they're doing, the things that they shouldn't, and the different perspectives from the men and from us women. You know, like I think we give a lot of insight. And I know in the comment sections, I've also seen like you guys say, like, these are some things that we need to speak more about. These are things that people don't, you know what I mean, talk about, and the different views. So yeah, maybe we can definitely have something like that if y'all are down, but we can move forward. I'm sorry, Stacey B. Oh, real quick, I want to give a shout out to I'm getting sleepy. Actually, Aubrey, she did, or they did say something about, like, on their recent panel, they discussed, what was it? If you could put that back in the comment section, but just to let you know that actually, Aubrey, they do panels with Ready to Love over on their channel as well. So definitely check them out. But put what you were saying earlier, actually, Aubrey. I'm sorry, Stacey B, I cut you off. Go ahead.
I don't think I said anything.
Oh, who was it? I'm delusional. I'm sleepy.
Nah.
I was being quiet once.
Tyrone? So are we done with
No,
because we actually
started. We got to get into this.
We done with the DNA part.
There's really not much to talk about, Dave.
Yeah, he spit on her food and shoved it down her throat.
Yeah, it is what it is. You know, she was his savior.
No, they're soulmates. They're soulmates.
Yeah, when he was sick.
I met him in 2,000 lives already.
He was there. We knew Jeffrey was going to get a man. This is what it is. This is the future for the show and them. So y'all better get used to it.
How you feeling about Andre feeding Jeffrey and feeding and blowing on her food and kissing her with her red lipstick, and how they were sharing a moment on the balcony and that they look like they were so in love, and she feels like that they're soulmates and that they should get married. But she still has a connection, a very strong connection. She has 3 number ones. I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Can I say something first? I know when you talk about Paul feeding people.
I think Ty want to do it. Let
with the pickle.
Because we know Paul feed people. Come on now.
Hold on.
Come on now.
Let me speak on that for 30 seconds. I will tell you that was a very uncomfortable moment for me, right? And I was caught off guard because if you know me, you know I hate pickles. And in that scene, it was like, man, I hate pickles. And then she's like, you don't like them? I was like, no, I'd love to give you my pickle if you want it. And then she's like, are you going to feed it to me? And then I looked like, okay. I was caught off guard with that. And they made a moment of it in the show. And I'm like, man, I'm up here.
Yeah, when was the last time you seen somebody feed somebody a pickle on Ready to Love?
I mean, I ain't blow on it though.
It even made the 100th episode, didn't it? Mr.
Yeah, it did.
Mr. You don't have to do nothing you don't want to do.
I mean, I was just like, okay, if you want me to shove it, if you want to just eat it, here, just have at it. But
Okay, I
yeah,
want to hear from J Dub because I had a lot to say before. I want to hear from you, J Dub. What do you think
You sure?
about?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
we're
just
sure.
trying to. Let me hurry up and get my turn out before somebody else take it. My goodness,
Y'all be
my
going on
Lord,
each other.
my God. I mean,
Look
come
at
on. I mean,
Tyrone.
we got the moderator calling for me saying, "Hey, J Dub. I'm ready for you."
I knew it was
I
coming.
Tyrone,
still
be
I
can't
knew
be
it
quiet.
here.
was coming. I knew it was coming.
I can't be here. So Sabrina, can I go? Am I
Yes, you
clear?
may go.
My goodness. Yeah, this was the most cringeworthy date in Ready to Love history. Now, give example. My take on it. I'm okay with a little smooch here and there and all that, but like we didn't need to see this. We did not need to see this at all. I mean, everything was just so irritating, and here Jeffrey was doing what Jeffrey normally does to go into that baby submissive mode where like she's pulling them in. Maybe that's why she has so many different connections. Like here and there, someone enjoys that. And 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 yeah, all that baby bite and baby talk and baby, and she's ready to get married, not ready to love and all that. Um Andre is not a stepdaddy. So that ain't gonna work. So all this is a fling. And again, hey, what she only had 2 real significant relationships. I'm sure there's more backstory to that, but sh- she's trying to find a father, a daddy duck for these kids, but it's not working. All these are flings, all this is going nowhere. But people got wrapped up into, oh, the date was so intimate and he was so romantical, and he showed her a view of the bay, and it was just so beautiful. Like, we want that. But Andre is just superficial all in itself. He just laughs and giggles. He don't talk about nothing. So that's what I
he
think.
was he was in Forbes though, man. That's
That
Yeah.
was on Forbes Rice.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, he was cooking Caribbean food with plantains and stuff too.
I
oh yeah,
mean,
plantains.
I'm
the
just
gravy,
saying.
the gravy was
I
kind of
mean,
short. It was
can
a
I get
whole lot.
Andre? Can I
It
get
was a
Andre
whole
and
lot.
Blue and smash them together? No, I'm just
It was a whole lot of white rice visible.
Yeah, he
joking.
didn't. The gravy ratio was not proportionate to the rice distribution.
But I'll say this: I'm the other Creole. I'm the other kind of Creole. Like I'm not Haitian. I'm Louisiana Creole. So maybe it's a cultural difference because I like the gravy on my rice.
Me too. Well, we the same kind of Creole, so.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just say maybe. So I'm not saying that to be shady. So maybe it's just like me, a cultural thing for me. Like I was just like, ooh, that rice is ricing.
Right.
Yeah, but that's the Korean part of me too, though. Got to have my white rice. Anyway, so anybody else got anything about Jeffrey and Andre? No? Okay. Because we right on time. So the women meet back up at the ladies' lounge to discuss their dates with their exes with Tommy. They discuss who they are and who they are not feeling. Unfortunately, Marcia is meeting with Blue and Sue Ann is meeting with Blake. Inevitably, unfortunately, sad day, Blue has been eliminated this episode. Final thoughts. I mean, not everybody at once.
I want to make sure J Dub get his
Just
turn.
no, just say J Dub, can I hear from you? And then we're gonna let everybody go. So just say that. That's all. That's what you need to say, Sabrina. J Dub, I'd like to hear from you. Well, let me get in here for about 62 seconds.
Oh my God.
Let go. Let go. Let
Jada,
go.
let's go with you first.
So what happens? As far as elimination, I always got to start it out with, why am I still looking at Blake? Why? Like, it's got to be a fix. He's got to be a part of production. How is he here? How is Sue Ann here? I don't even know if we ever discussed Lyndon. I mean, how is he here? I mean, all these things. I'm at this point, this season has like really tanked. Like we don't have any matches. We got drama. We I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words. So Blue, yeah, he was like under the radar after I guess he didn't step up for Jeffrey and he didn't step up for Marcia, but she doesn't like his kids and don't know him. You know, why is any of them here? So I'm gonna give it away. Y'all can have it.
So I feel like as far as why or oh, I'm sorry, Tyrone. That's all you revving up.
No, go
But
ahead.
you might want to
You're good.
hold that until I get
You're
done,
good.
bro. No, I was gonna say this whole particular season, we get it. I'm with you on this one, J Dub. Why is Blake here? Why is all of these people here? I know why. Because they have a show that they have to sell. They have to sell the show. Now, one of the things that I wish, I mean, just one time, if they could just let people really rock with their natural connections, you still would get the drama. But at the same time, you would produce more true journeys and relationships that would be more interesting because you're no one's finding nobody here. Like this is a whole just a it looks like a like 6 boxes of cereal dumped into one bowl and you're gonna call it Wheaties. And it ain't that. I'm done.
Tyrone?
No, I agree with J Dub. Like you can say that about any one of them. How are they still here? I personally think Lyndon has had the laziest journey ever. You know, even on the Friends date, they said, "What do you like?" He said, "Everything." You know, so you know, you could make a case for each one of them to leave. It just so happens to be, Blake again, Blue with 2 number 2s. This is the part that I keep talking about where, is it a competition or is it a journey to find somebody? Like I'm confused. So now I'm just like everyone else, just waiting for some drama to hit. Let's just have Lyndon and Tony fight now and get it over with so we don't have to wait 2 more episodes. Right. If they're really about the drama. So, it is what it is, but then I understand, the production can only work with the cast gives them, and they're all saying the same thing. They're all talking about, they're all using this language like they need to investigate more. I need to dig deeper into, what this is when we already know what it is,
Right.
Stacey
And
B.
you know what? Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was just going. I just wanted to. I was going to have a 10, just a quick 10-second thing to say with that. Absolutely, I agree with you about Lyndon. That's my cat. I like Lyndon, but he's not. They're not giving us anything with Lyndon. I want to see more out of him. Like, yeah, grab Tony and put him in a headlock or do something.
He'll be used. He'll be used for rage bait. That's what I think.
Right. I feel like we're going on episode 8 out of 11. 12 is the reunion, right? Or is 11 the reunion? We're up there.
13.
No, it's gonna be 12 total.
13 is the reunion.
Mm-hmm. So there's 4. So basically, there's 4 more episodes before the reunion. What else are you expecting to get out of anybody, Paul? We done seen who they are.
Listen, the thing is we haven't seen any content on Lyndon.
Yes, we have.
I mean, it was
lazy. He tried to kiss everybody.
Oh yeah, but that was short lived. And then after that, he had one quick little flip scene, and that was that. He's not really even getting the confessionals. Like like I said, they could turn Blake down and sprinkle other people in there.
He needs to stay so he can fight with Tony. That's his
Oh
purpose.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's been brewing. Like, what's been brewing is Tony fighting with anybody, because Tony doesn't, like, he sizes up everyone else, and that was made clear on this episode, like how he sees the other guys and how he like judges them. I don't know. All I can say is that it's been entertaining thus far. Can't wait to see this next week. You know, I really like and enjoy a lot of the cast from last season. But last season didn't have me wanting to watch every week like this season is. Like this season of Miami is. I don't know if it's the crazy. I don't know if it's Blake. I don't know if it's Jeffrey and her Gerber voice. I don't freaking know. But I want to see what's going down this Friday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm eager to see. Let's just get right to it. And at the hell with this one.
Oh.
I don't. Did you get my text? Oh, Sabrina?
No. Hold on.
Oh, you don't have any predictions for us to be wrong about?
Yeah, I'm good this time around.
Stop it.
Are you going to tell us?
Where did I go?
I ain't gonna say
Where'd
it,
it go?
but if Sabrina want to say it, it's her channel.
Hold on, let me listen real quick.
For over 50 years, Backstage has been the most trusted place for actors and performers to find jobs and career advice, and for casting professionals and talent seekers to find the right performance for their project. All Deaf Movies Awards, presented by Fusion. Stream live on February 28, 2016.
Sabrina, do you know you're unmuted?
February 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as Fusion presents
Sabrina, you're unmuted.
All Deaf Movie
Is that something relevant?
Yeah.
What is that?
What do you think it was?
I'm just closing out all my apps.
What did it sound like?
Did you text me? Shit, do you
No.
know my phone number? Shit.
So
I'm a visual person.
So
can somebody for me? Let me mute myself right now.
So in real life, hold on. It's funny because this is exactly what I don't want to say. But she ain't no, I mean, she trying to make it. She sounded good though. That was her voice. She do voiceovers. She sounded good.
Yeah, I do voiceovers.
So I guess people that are in acting school or drama teachers or whatever the case, whatever, their characters, they come on screen and that's what they portray. So her talking like a little girl and all that, like that's her character. That's interesting. You said text the chat.
That's very interesting.
Wow.
Jeffrey, that's interesting.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting.
That's just gifted. You know what? There's a lot of gifted actors and actresses out here in this world. P.O., what do you have to say about that?
I love it. I respect the craft. You know, we're all actors out here. You know, when I go to work on Monday morning, I act like I give up.
No.
Yeah.
All of us are not like that. Some of us are actually genuine people. that go about our lives every damn day, trying our best to make it.
And I went on the show. I was looking for a whole husband.
I mean, but if the Screen Actors Guild Awards is your goal, then hey, my friend, go for.
I mean, listen. If you don't get something out of this other than stress, a headache, and maybe some depression or whatever, you better get yours. And if that's what she came for, to show up, to blow up, I ain't mad at her. Get your money. Get your bag, because you got kids. They gonna need it.
Absolutely. I don't knock it at all.
Do what you do. And if you need any coaching tools, holler at your hero.
So does anybody got any other last minutes?
Look at that face. Look at that face right there.
Yeah. So these are the screenshots at the very end for the next episode that is to come. And yeah, this is when they're sitting down with, she was sitting down with somebody's friend.
Lyndon's friend.
Lyndon's friend, that's right.
So my man Lyndon, his man shows up for this thing.
Talking about the
red flags.
Absolutely. Yeah. About how the Nair thing.
Yeah.
I got a lot of different things going on in my head right now. I can't get it together. I got a lot of stuff. Anyway, so I just want everybody, so to conclude, I want everybody to put in the comment section, comment down below. Let me know if you put gravy on your rice or no. Yes or no? I need the answers. Do you put gravy on your rice? Yes or no? That's it. Other than that, let's go around the room real quick, and we're going to re-extroduce everyone, and then we're going to wrap it up. We're going to start with Tyrone, it's J-Dub, and then go to P.O.
Yes, unless I'm eating Korean food, and you're not supposed to mix anything with the rice, really, except for maybe your spicy pork or...
Tyrone, say it again for the people in the back that didn't hear you.
You ain't supposed to mix nothing with your rice. This is made that way on purpose so you can pick it up in clumps.
When you're eating what food?
Korean food. Never put your chopsticks straight up and down. We'll have a whole class about that one day.
All right, let them know who you are, where they can find you.
Oh man, Tyrone Wilson, Ready to Love DC. You can find me everywhere at Ty Wilson 21. Thank you, Jay, for posting the my YouTube link. I'm also doing some YouTube videos. I am going to come back with some reviews, some video content. I got, as you can see, I got all my gear in now, so my lighting is here. So I'm going to start creating some different videos. So yeah, maybe some shower scenes too. I've been working on some things.
It's J-Dub. Oh, you're muted.
YouTube world, it's your boy J-Dub, YouTube's #1 commenter. I'm gonna do what Paul did. I was on Ready to Love season 0, episode 27. No, I wasn't on Ready to Love. I do YouTube videos on reality shows in detail from a male's perspective. Check me out if you want to get a little different perspective. The Juggernaut, you're up.
Oh, sorry.
All right. You already know it's your boy P.O., Commander-in-Chief, Attorney at Law, Esquire, truck driver, and garbage can machinist turned entrepreneur. Follow me on IG, 100 Sightings.
All right, just to let everybody know also that Stacey B, she did lose connection, but she wanted me to tell everyone that she loves you guys and she will see you next time. You can follow Stacey B on her YouTube channel, and also you can follow her on Instagram at Stacey B. Other than that, you guys know I am your host, Miss Sabrina Soul. You guys know me from Ready to Love, DC, season number 4 or 5. Also, too, you can follow me on, let me see, all my socials at Miss Sabrina Soul. So everything, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everything is at Miss Sabrina Soul. If you have not liked this video, we still have 234 people watching. If you have not liked this video, I have 158 thumbs up. Let's try to get that to 200 before we leave. Definitely hit the thumbs up button if you are subscribed, and if you have not subscribed, when you subscribe, and if you have not, click that notification bell. I saw a few of you in the chat saying that you did not get the notification that I was going live. So definitely click that notification bell. So every time I do go live, you will be notified, or when I post like new content. Other than that, tonight was amazing. Shout out to my panel. You guys are amazing. I love you so much. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat tonight, that joined us, that watched, that support all of us. Make sure you subscribe to everyone's channel, follow everyone on their socials, and always, you know, without you guys, there is no us. And we love you, and I will see you on Friday for the live watch party of Ready to Love episode number